this is categorically false. It's like, well, now all of a sudden I'm kind of wondering. You know what I mean?
If I'm on the Avalanche tonight, I am just chirping all night long about their wives, their girlfriends, their wives and their girlfriends. I'm getting someone to punch me in the face if I'm another player tonight. It's just, thank you for bringing that up, Richie.
Yeah.
You just made my day, dude. Made my day that the Senators are back in the Mile High City. All right, Zach Bye is in here. Richie sitting in for one Phillip Lindsay. We're going to start something every day. I want to kick this idea off of you guys. It's Cecil's name, but we're going to start to build Bose board, right? His offseason board of players they should go get.
Because this offseason is going to be a fantasy football draft.
Breece Hall was named number one today. Spot Rack, Spotrac, whatever you want to call him, has a $10.3 million market value this next year. That's what he's going to get from some team. I know you like him, Cease. You like him, Zach.
Yeah.
$10.3 million. Does that turn you off at all?
No, it doesn't turn me off. This is like a middle ground because it's probably a 3-year deal, right?
That's what they
would
would
assume so, yeah.
Yeah. This is a middle ground of the current market landscape for running backs and what it used to be. These what used to drive me nuts and really I would come across as anti-running back, the big money long-term deals that we don't see anymore. This is kind of the second cousin of that, sort of like, a sweet spot, not quite a Christian McCaffrey type deal.
It feels like a regression from the overcorrection that came after the year of the running back.
Yes, and that's why I refer to like middle ground. Yeah. And I think that look, you need to address it in the most meaningful way. And they tried to with the 60th overall pick in R.J. Harvey. He's not a starting running back. I think I've heard you guys talk about it. We agree. I was the loudest voice in our market banging the table for Breece Hall ahead of the trade deadline. A side question. If Breece Hall is traded for the Broncos, are the Broncos playing in the Super Bowl?
Yep. They're going to the Super Bowl because even with Jarrett Stidham, you can hand off. And by the way, Bo Nix probably wouldn't have been hurt because instead of running around and having Joey Bosa break your ankle, that's a handoff to a stud running back.
There's maybe less QB draw plays with Breece Hall.
What did he run, 12 times? 12 times against
he led the team in carries.
Yeah.
So
ridiculous.
And so we actually agree. I think if Breece Hall had a Broncos logo on his helmet on Sunday afternoon, the Broncos are playing in Super Bowl 60. Mm-hmm. And I think that if we're agreeing on that, you cannot let, especially with this ownership group, finances get in the way of a proven concept. Even if you drafted someone in the first round at running back, it's still not a guarantee that the guy can play. We've seen the Trent Richardsons, et cetera, that just don't pan out. So, look, I think that if I were steering this ship, I am drafting a running back in the first 3 rounds. I'm also going out in free agency and moving forward with those 2 running backs with R.J. Harvey, and that's my new approach.
And you look at Breece Hall combining with Harvey because it's Bo's board, so it's like what's best for Bo? What's best for Harvey? Having a guy like Hall.
Definitely.
And by the way, Hall a few years ago, 76 catches.
Dude, you know what? I didn't even mention this to you, Cecil, but you've always said it. What's the joker? Running back or a tight end with elite pass-catching skills?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Could R.J. Harvey kind of fill in? I'm not saying he's that next year, but eventually evolve into that and not have to chase around an Evan Ingram in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound crazy. I don't think he profiles exactly like that, but some version of that.
He's an elite pass catcher.
No doubt.
12 touchdowns from scrimmage compared to what we got from Evan Ingram. Like, he doesn't have to be – we don't have to call him the joker, but the production is there, and you can use him as a piece clearly more frequently than they did Evan Ingram.
So what are you guys doing? You said Bo's board is like one player
Every
a
single
day.
One player a day.
Love
Going to
that.
tell you,
Help
both
out
the
Bo
draft and free agency also got a trade idea. I'm waiting for something to happen before I throw that trade idea out there. But, yeah, and I said it just last segment, I believe. Do not think that the Broncos will not make a blockbuster trade. Based on Greg Penner's comments today, and he mentioned trade in passing, they're thinking about a blockbuster trade. They're thinking about blockbuster free agency. And in the draft, don't think that they won't trade up for Kenyon Sadiq. He's going to fall. It's about 20. Broncos are picking at 30. They need to move up 10 spots. Nice thing they have a surplus of draft picks. Plus, with what George Payton said about Q Robinson, Mace and I both think they'll trade one of their edges this year.
Oh, you think so?
Give the path for Q to.
I mean, well, how about Q making a huge play in the biggest game of the season?
He went through the season without getting a jersey. Then the AFC Championship game, they give him a role.
Well,
crazy.
And listen, Jahdae Barron may be a Pro Bowler in 2 years. He played 5 snaps against the Patriots. Come on, man.
It tells you what you need to know,
They
right?
needed more.
Actions over words. And that was, and again, this speaks to going back to the running back conversation. Like, you can do both. I think you can draft a running back. Doesn't have to be first rounder, second rounder, third
Jonah
rounder.
Coleman.
There you go. To pair with a more proven concept like Breece Hall. At the what the hell were we just talking about? But
Greg Penner talking.
Blockbuster trade.
Yes. Sorry, blockbuster trade. By the way, real quick, I'm looking at that dude up there, and was he? He was on. You guys were on the air when he was talking.
Right. 11 a.m.
Okay. Just and Richie, I don't know. You can maybe back me up on this or give pushback. You talk about like the utmost serious, dude. Like, there was no smiling. There was no pleasantries. It was so straightforward, so serious. And I just wonder, and I mentioned this a couple months ago about Penner. I said my hope for Greg Penner was that going through this experience for the first time with this type of magnitude, and you're 60 minutes away from the Super Bowl, my hope is that he gets addicted to this in a way that he didn't see coming for himself. And you're sitting in the box and you're watching 70,000 of your fans, at your feet, and willing to run through a wall to go to the Super Bowl. And this is a guy who climbs mountains. He climbs mountains. And you don't get to the top of the mountain of the business world without just being wildly competitive. And man, I saw a look in that dude's eyes that was like cutting. And I just want to that was one of my they say 80% of language is nonverbal. Man, that was one of my bigger takeaways today, was like, this dude is not playing around.
And I know he spoke first, but you could argue that tone and that mentality, especially the visible representation of it that Greg Penner gave today, is what set the tone for the moves we saw yesterday. The Broncos come off a 14-win season, their best season unequivocally since they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they turn around and they fire 3 assistant coaches, including a guy that Sean Payton has worked with close by for 15 years.
Yeah.
So to me, I agree. I think I took away the same kind of tone or presence from Greg Penner, and I think that's why you saw the comments from Sean Payton that came before, and George Payton even, who is typically the most measured, straddle the fence kind of guy, but even he was like, we're going to be aggressive, and we're going to be serious about dialing this thing in because we know what we had and why we fell short of it.
Yeah, and you want to know what, Rich? Is like, for whatever reason, and I'm not saying this pointing to something, and I'm just relaying the observation. Did not get that vibe from Sean Payton. Sean Payton was up there making jokes.
Yeah,
several of them, and laughing and pointing and doing a callback to an older humorous reference with Luca.
Yeah.
Like, it was not the vibe that I got from Greg Penner was not the vibe that I got from Sean Payton. And again, I'm not saying one approach is better than the other, because it's different. Because here's the thing, man. Like I'm starting to feel a little bit better today. I'm still when I walked out of Mile High. Gosh, we have so many layers to get through this afternoon. When I walked out of Mile High, dude, I was upset, but honestly, I was like, I just experienced one of the most unique sporting events of my life. What a ride of a season. The Broncos are just getting started, and it was like, if anything, it was 51% gratitude.
Yeah.
And then the more I got away from the game, the magnitude of what happened started to actually come into focus, and I was upset, and I started to become like dejected, and just for a million different reasons. And I'm starting to feel a little bit better today, but I was a little bit surprised that Sean was as light as he was in that press conference yesterday in a way that Greg Penner today was not.
Yeah, no, I think it's fair, and you can talk about stylistic differences in the way that people approach certain things. I guess I to call back to what you said earlier when you talk about actions over words, I don't think that Sean Payton parts ways with Joe Lombardi and makes those moves that they made if he doesn't on some level reverberate with the way Greg Penner presented himself. He may not be as transparent about it in front of the microphone and maybe didn't choose in that moment to have it manifest, but Sean Payton's felt the feeling he felt on Sunday against the Patriots multiple times before in his career, and I feel like this one, because of the decision he made not to go for it or kick the field goal on 4th down and the play call that's come under such scrutiny and fire, this one might be the most personal that he's felt because the Minneapolis Miracle was out of his control.
Correct.
The non-call, even though that was in the divisional round, the non-call against the Rams was out of his control. This was firmly in his control, and I just feel like because of the way he's wired, at least my perception of it as someone who doesn't know him super intimately, is that that would be how he would respond to it. Is I remember this feeling. It's a bitter taste in my mouth, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do to not have this happen again.
Yeah. Well, you can't change it. You can't change it. And one of my first legit jobs in sports media was getting the job calling the games for a Division I Albany. And I do football in the fall and basketball in the winter and lacrosse in the spring. And the football coach that I covered, his name was Bob Ford, and he started the program like 40 years earlier, and he was just the architect of the program. And man, he would lose these games, and he would say, and he was so much older. He would say, Zach, somehow, some way, the sun is going to come up in the morning, and this would be in the moment after like a gutting loss.
Yeah,
the sun somehow that sun is going to rise, and I checked it. The sun came up this morning. And there's a huge runway in front of the Denver Broncos, so I'm starting to feel a little bit better. But I do want to react to Greg Penner giving a rare press conference today. What was our biggest takeaways from what the owner said? That's next.
Which pending free agent do the Denver Broncos have to bring back next season?
I will say this. If I did the ranking, right, of these 4 notable free agents, I'm going to put JFM first. If they don't want to prioritize them, I'm going to. You win football games from the big uglies up front.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Here on behalf of my friends at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, talking to you men out there about how you're feeling today. All right? Are you ready for the weekend? You fired up? You have great energy today? Or are you just dragging through this week? You can't wait for the weekend so you can try to recover, get your energy back. Maybe those sleep patterns are off. All right? Maybe you're having brain fog in the middle of the day. You're feeling tired after you eat. All right, maybe you're even putting on weight. You're not making it to the gym like you used to because you lack that energy. Guys, these could all be symptoms of low testosterone. I encourage you, go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com, take that low T quiz. It's a simple 10-question quiz with yes or no answers. Takes you 2 minutes, but from there you can schedule a consult with them. They'll draw your blood, have the results within 30 minutes. A Colorado licensed medical provider will review those results with you, discuss your options, and there's no pressure, guys. Cost of the appointment is just $99. That includes a medical consult, a T and PSA test, and if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Guys, you got one life to live. Don't spend yours wondering if you're suffering from low testosterone. Go take the low T quiz at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Free barbecue? Yep, absolutely free barbecue. Hey, everybody, Dan Jacobs, the barbecue lawyer at 303 Law 4040. It's 2026, and we are taking our free meal program to the next level, and I want you to help spread the word with me if you can. I got a brand new smoker, and this thing's a beast. It's over 6 feet tall, so we can cook that 1,000 pounds of free barbecue each and every month. Here's what you do. It's Eastern Hills Community Church, 4 to 6 p.m. every first and third Thursday. I'm smoking up delicious pulled pork or my addictive copycat Chipotle recipe, and we're serving it up for free. You just get in line, you pop the trunk, we put free groceries in your trunk, and then we ask you how many meals you need for the night. It's that simple, no questions asked. It's at Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road every first and third Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. Help us spread the word, and if you have any questions, you can always call me. The barbecue lawyer's number is 303 Law 4040.
I lost 60 pounds with soda, and the weight came off naturally. The biggest difference was having my own nutritionist, someone I could text anytime with questions. SodaWeightLoss.com. They deliver fast, easy, convenient weight loss with no hunger, no guesswork, and clients routinely look and feel 10 years younger. That's why they have nearly 9,000 positive Google reviews and thousands of before and after photos to prove it. And right now, join Soda, and your partner joins for free. Go to SodaWeightLoss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. Soda Weight Loss is, say it with me, state of the art.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So, looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction. Lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Spine One. Let me ask you a question. You live with back pain, neck pain. Well, my guys at Spine One, they're an emergency room for back pain with same-day appointments. They'll see you and they'll get the journey started. And that's exactly what I did. Whether it's chronic pain, acute pain, work-related, sports-related, doesn't matter. All you got to do is pick up the phone and start your journey just like I did toward pain-free. 303-367-2225. That's 303-367-BACK. Or as always, you can find them online at spineone.com.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan's brought to you by Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider, Mike Kliss. Presented by Fitness Gallery. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
Off and rolling. Here on a Wednesday, January 28th, and plenty to get to on another busy day here on The Fan. We got Richie Carney filling in for Phillip Lindsay today. Phil not feeling well. I pray to God that I don't get what he has, because I feel a little something and I'm like, what's going on here?
Isn't that the worst, though, by the way, the pre-sick premonition where you get that little scratch in the throat or you feel that little thing and you're like, oh no. Or like you can feel that cold sore coming in or whatever it is.
Literally.
It's just like,
yep. And I have a little thing in my throat and I'm like doing the phlegm stuff. And I before our show on Friday at the Sportsbook Bar and Grill, which may have been the single best remote I have ever been a part of.
Yeah.
And there have been some legendary ones through the years. I mean, like the ones where we go up north in like North Glen and Westminster, like
the Glen, yeah.
Those are insane.
Wild Goose Saloon, you and Phil's first remote was crazy.
Yes. So there have been some absolute bangers from the past. I'll say there has never been a remote better than Fridays. Like, there might be some equals, but there's never been, I mean, guys,
it's on the Mount Rushmore.
No doubt. I mean, the place is massive in Parker, Sportsbook Bar and Grill. It's massive, and it was standing room only. They have to call in more workers.
As a former service industry worker, that's such a flex. They're like, hey, you guys brought such a crowd that we had to call people on their day off and frantically try to staff so that we weren't having 40-minute drink tickets and food piling up in the kitchen.
Dude, just insane, man. Just insane. So shout out everyone down there and everyone who came out there. But what I was going to say was, dude, I was in urgent care. I was almost late to the show. I showed up to that live remote 30 seconds in the literal sense before we went live.
Yeah, I remember I was there. We were like, because you have patented kind of the stroll 60 seconds before the thing, and it's like KKFN HD1 Longmont Denver as you're putting the headset on. But this time I was like, okay, this might be, and it was like the parking was packed.
Yes.
So, good old Joey had to move the car.
Yes, I had to dump my car. Here I am. I have my Ramos ride, my 25 Ford Bronco wrapped in Ramos Law signage, and there I am parked in a handicapped parking spot.
Always a good move.
Like, holy smokes, not ideal, right? And so I ran in and had to give Joey my keys. I'm like, dude, I'm parked illegally. Go move it anywhere but where it is.
He was so stressed about that too, and I was like, I get it.
But yeah, I was in urgent care in the moments leading up to that show, and I had crazy stuff going on with my ear, which I've never had any sort of ear issues, and so I'm kind of going through it here, and then Phil reaches out, hey, I might have strep throat, and I'm like, holy smokes, please don't let this happen. So hopefully we're okay moving forward this week. The Greg Penner press conference was fascinating for a bunch of reasons. We don't hear from Greg Penner. He does not make himself available. This is not like one of these owners who does interviews after the game. Like, that's not what this is. And we have heard from Greg Penner, I think maybe once or twice a year max.
They always like the beginning of the season or like the start of the new league year when you're going into free agency and all that. And then there's maybe one other time.
Yeah.
But it's really bookended,
Yes. So it's just a unique day just to hear from him. But, I go back to what I said, man. That dude had a laser focus about him today and a incredible seriousness. Now, I don't know if it was organic or that was projecting, a level of seriousness as the leader of the organization coming off a gutting loss.
Setting a tone.
Yeah, setting a tone. And I wouldn't put it, because Greg is smart as hell. And I don't think that he wants to be perceived in any way, shape, or form satisfied, let alone maybe happy, smiling. So I don't know if he was organically gutted and that was just natural, or it was like, I am in this moment the face of this organization, the leader of this organization, and I am projecting a level of seriousness that will stick.
Yeah, no, I think he used the phrase opportunistically aggressive, which had my alarm bells going off of like, wow, what a business acumen focused term there. And again, it just kind of locked in the seriousness of not just the way that they're going to approach what I think is going to be a fascinating and pivotal offseason, but just, again, another reminder of how much the tone, the fabric, and the culture within the organization has just completely turned on its head in a span of 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
They're hunting a championship now versus just trying to keep their head above water and keep their names out of scandalous headlines.
Yeah, and here's just a little bit of Greg Penner on where he thought the team fell short this year.
Yeah, I'll leave the specifics of where we fell short to our coaching staff, because I think or front office, because I think that's their job and what they do really well. But the process will go through the next. We're doing in the next couple weeks we'll start the evaluation of our roster. Obviously, going through evaluating our coaching staff, you're always going to have some natural attrition where coaches get other opportunities, and then we make some changes that we think are in the best interest of the organization. But then we'll evaluate our roster and system and come away with some absolute needs and then wants, and we'll address that through free agency, trades, and the draft.
All right, so he's talking about potentially making trades. All right. Obviously free agency, but there's a portion in the first half of that cut that I really appreciate about Greg Penner and great leadership that goes beyond Greg Penner and other spaces around the world. He would not talk about football today. He was asked about football in several different ways, and he would not get into the specifics of football.
I'll leave that to X, Y, and Z.
Because that's not my job. And I am going to hire these football people to do their job, and I'm going to let them do it. And I just so much appreciate that level of trust and being compartmentalized, because I think it's super healthy. And we see the opposite dynamic all around the NFL. It was just this past week that the owner of the Buffalo Bills,
I was just going to say Pagula,
is sitting at the podium. Did you know, and this is the least talked about dynamic when he talked about Keon Coleman, that made headlines and people were voicing their, right? But you know what wasn't talked about? Was that Keon Coleman was never brought up. He was asked about the receivers.
Yeah.
And Terry Pagula jumped in front of the president of football and said, let me take this, and starts talking about Keon Coleman. It's like, dude, shut your mouth. Stay in your lane. This is not about you in this moment. And Greg Penner refuses to make football about him despite being the owner of the team.
100%. And on the Pagula thing, like the arrogance to assume that the internet doesn't exist, where he's saying, oh, well, that was more of a Sean McDermott thing, not a Brandon Beane thing. And then you can go back to all of the draft day footage and all that, where Brandon Beane's like, we went to bed that night saying it's Keon Coleman or bust.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like, okay. So
I'm glad he ran a 4.5. That makes it better for us to try to get him.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, again, just like the presence of mind or the lack of a presence of mind to realize that these things aren't like categorically filed away in the internet forever is yeah. So thankful that we don't have to deal with that here.
No, and this is why Buffalo's Buffalo and Cincinnati and Arizona's Arizona and Cleveland's Cleveland. Like
to a degree, Dallas is Dallas with the way Jerry runs things, even though they're more successful in some ways than the teams you just named.
Yes, and even Buffalo's had a bunch of success here recently, but like there's mascara on a larger historical problem. Mm-hmm. The mascara is someone like Josh Allen.
Yeah.
The mascara in Dallas might be someone like Dak Prescott and some good players, but historically and systemically, you are dysfunctional as an organization. And when that happened last week with Buffalo, I said it on the air. I'm like, you'll never hear any version of that from someone like Greg Penner.
No, it's putting the team, the organization above self, not injecting yourself for the betterment of your own, vanity or whatever it is.
Yep. All right, the Broncos are going to have to make some real decisions with a handful of players, and we'll start talking about those players next.
After a heartbreaking loss in the AFC Championship game, how will the Broncos approach their pivotal offseason?
We have to be on our game. We have to make really good decisions. We're going to be aggressive. We have some cap room. We have 5 picks in the first 4 rounds. I always talk flexibility. We're going to have all sorts of flexibility.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Are your investments in the right accounts? What's best, traditional or Roth? Are you receiving all available tax deductions? Are you paying as little in tax as you can? These are all questions you can't afford to get wrong. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth, and in many cases, it's not what you make, but it's what you keep that makes the real difference. Trajan Wealth and Trajan Tax work closely together exclusively. No more guessing about whether you should do a Roth conversion, or if maxing out your 401k is really the best option. Our nationally recognized fiduciary advisors and CPA team work in tandem to make sure your tax strategy works with your investment strategy. We'll even do your tax preparation. One team, one strategy. Isn't it time for a second opinion? Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You'd love new windows, but don't want to pay a fortune for them. I get it. Well, January is a great time of year thanks to Window Nation. Right now, they're more affordable during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 Windows Free sale. Plus, you could get them with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. And ask how you could get a pair of Icon Pass 2-day sessions. If you're feeling cold drafts, have trouble getting your windows open or closed, or paying a lot for your heat, it's time for new windows. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Visit windownation.com now.
Let me ask you something. Is your money doing everything it can for you?
I don't know. How would I know?
Is it automatically saving for special events and keeping you posted on its progress? Like at Huntington Bank?
Oh, no.
Is it tracking your spending so you can make the best choices at the mall?
Nope.
Or setting limits on your teenager's debit card?
Definitely not.
Then it could certainly be doing more.
Yeah, sure sounds like it.
Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Discover incredible savings at the Mountain High Appliance Clearance Center in Denver. I'm Brad Barnett, president of Mountain High Appliance. Our clearance center offers a huge selection of ranges, refrigerators, laundry, and more. Save up to 60% on open box, scratch and dent, display models, and overstocked appliances from Bosch, Thermador, KitchenAid, and many more. When you're looking for great deals on appliances, our clearance center is your go-to destination for the best prices and selection.
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you.
One iced coffee?
$1, please.
For real? No way. One iced coffee?
$1, please.
For real? No way. What a deal.
Your new morning groove. Iced coffee from McDonald's, any size for just $1 until 11 a.m. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The Stock Show is a staple of Denver. For 66 years, so is Siltahar Motors, Colorado's most trusted dealership. You don't last 66 years by cutting corners. You do it by keeping your word, by treating customers like neighbors, by earning trust, not just asking for it. That's the Siltahar way. Always has been. This Stock Show season gets 0% financing and leases under $300 a month on the best trucks and SUVs in Denver. Call, click sthmotors.com, or come by Highway 36 in Wadsworth. Either way, you get everything you want out of a dealership at Siltahar Motors.
You're listening to Sports Talk Radio at work. So is your competition. So are your customers. Denver sports fans don't half listen. They argue. They text in. They remember stats from 1998. They remember who sponsors their obsession. Audio, video, or online. We've got every angle covered. DenverSports.com. Make your move.
Woodley's Fine Furniture, specializing in custom upholstery, solid wood, and the most comfortable leather furniture imaginable. You will not find better built furniture than at Woodley's. Visit woodleys.com today.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on ESPN Denver 1600, CSU basketball faces San Diego State with pregame starting at 8.
104.3 The Fan. We are Denver Sports.
You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
The Broncos are going to have some real decisions to make with a handful of players. It's that it's around that time, where Monday was a lot of game reaction, obviously all game reaction. Tuesday, some leftover thoughts from the game and starting to peek ahead, and here we are on a Wednesday, man. And I hate it. I hate it. The finality of what happened. I do not like to just project things based off a gut feel, and I'll never be able to prove it. But the Broncos were the better team, and we should be talking about Super Bowl 60 and looking at the Seattle Seahawks and trying to figure out how to win the freaking game.
Zach, Nick Bonito said it after the game. We were the better team. Like, they know it. They clearly believe it. And I, like you, resonate with that feeling. I think if Bo Nix plays in that game,
yes,
regardless of the weather that happened in the second half where both teams would have been hindered a little bit,
yes,
everything you saw Drake May do with his legs in the second half that helped them ice that victory and just play keep away, Bo Nix could have done in spades.
1,000%.
100%, right? And I think that if Bo Nix plays in that game, I think they win potentially by double digits because I think they score more early when the weather wasn't bad than they did, and then they could maybe play a little keep away. And I don't know that the Broncos would be favored in a Super Bowl 60 matchup against the Seattle Seahawks because that team is nasty.
Yeah, I think they'd be the dog.
But I'm not counting them out.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure as hell not counting them out.
No.
And I think the conversations that we're having this week and leading up to the week that will follow would have just been one of the more magical, memorable experiences for me as a Colorado resident, as a lifelong Broncos fan, as a member of the media here with the station for the better part of the last decade. It does leave me with a little bit of like a frustratingly hollow feeling.
Very, very, very. But like we said off the top, you can't change it, right? You can't change it. Wish we could. Wish you could go back. Wish Sean Payton could go back for that fourth down call. And just as much as I believe that you win with Bo Nix, and there's not a doubt in my mind, again, I can't prove it. But if you take the points and you go up 2 possessions in a way that the Patriots only experienced 3 times the whole season, being down 2 possessions and losing 2 of those 3, if you go up, I'm doing Monday and Tuesday show again, but if you go, I just believe it with everything in me, but you can't change it. So we gotta look ahead. We got to look ahead. There's a bunch of decisions that need to be made. You look at the list of unrestricted free agents: Alex Singleton, Adam Troutman, P.J. Locke, Justin Sternad, Michael Burton, Sam Ellinger, Lil Jordan Humphrey, De'Laren Turner-Yell, John Franklin Myers. It's
J.K. Dobbins?
Dobbins. If you want to talk about Dobbins, we certainly can. We spent a lot of time on him yesterday, but I'm curious to get your thoughts. But from this list, we'll put a pin in Dobbins if you want to circle back to it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at this list, and you know what it is? It's mostly a list of good football players.
Damn straight.
Good football players. Alex Singleton's a good football player. Adam Troutman's a good football player. P.J. Locke's a good football player. Justin Sternad. I mean, Lil Jordan Humphrey, he's not God's gift, but he's good. John Franklin Myers is a really good football player. And he sticks out as the best player for me on this list. Who do you think is the best player for you on this list?
I think if you're just talking about individual talent or excelling in their role, I think it's JFM. Now, you could argue maybe if you're talking about, can I only bring back 1? Can I only bring back 2? Does the concentration of talent and depth on the interior defensive line with the guys that they have maybe lessen that for a guy like John Franklin Myers compared to Singleton and Sternad or maybe P.J. Locke, possibly. But yeah, JFM to me is the best football player on that list.
I was going through, it was ESPN who did it. And other outlets are doing it too right now. And it's, of course, you got to do stuff like this if you're CBS.com, ESPN.com, like your list of 50 free agents, the 50 best free agents. Guys, John Franklin Myers is number 11 on the list. And I don't know if it's, well, I know it's possible. I was going to say, I don't know if it's possible. Of course it's possible.
As an interior defensive lineman, by the way.
Right.
Not a quarterback, not an edge rusher.
Right.
Not a wide receiver.
He's damn good. And you know what he is too? He's consistent. John Franklin Myers produces every year. He's available every year. And you go back, this is now like 6 consecutive years where John Franklin Myers is just freaking really, really good. And I know it's possible for this ownership group to bring him back. And it's certainly possible from a cap standpoint. But like you said, I just don't know. You draft to replace. Mm-hmm. And I just don't know if it's time. If it's just time.
Paying Malcolm Roach kind of signaled to me the clear stance that the organization is taking about the direction that they want to go, which is fascinating because from that moment on, and obviously he spurred some of this on himself on social media, talking about I want to get the money and the respect that I think I've earned and I've deserved and all that stuff, and he certainly wasn't shy about being vocal in that regard. But look at the amount of teammates that have gone out of their way to be like, this guy is maybe my favorite teammate, and he's one of the most important people that we have on our defense, and we want him to stay. I found that interesting considering the organization has already financially committed elsewhere. And it feels like the writing's on the wall, but yet they still, as a team and as a unit, are like, I'm not going to let this guy just be forgotten about in what his contributions are.
Yeah. So this is JFM after the game on his future in Denver.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, the place that I choose obviously is one that wants me, and who knows what teams are going to be out there. But, man, I mean, I'm a Bronco right now, and, again, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for the future of this team, man. I know that, we're going to win the Super Bowl. It's a matter of when, and, man, I want to be a part of that. But free agency gives me the opportunity to see what else is out there, and obviously, I'm going to have to do that if needed.
And this is what's going to happen. This is just what's going to happen. It's the natural order of the National Football League. And when you draft on the defensive line and you pay someone else on the defensive line, as you mentioned with Malcolm Roach, the writing's probably on the wall. But I'm telling you, from this list of let me ask you from this list, if you could, just fantasy football style, if you could bring back one of these unrestricted free agents, would it be JFM, or is there another player that's maybe a little bit younger and at maybe more of a pressing position?
If I could bring back two, JFM is probably one of them. I would feel, and even if there are other worthy candidates, I would feel comfortable with JFM plus one. But if I could only do one, because of the positional importance and maybe the depth or lack thereof at various groups on the defense, I would feel like I would have to bring back one of Alex Singleton or Justin Sternad, because that inside linebacker position has been such a sore spot for the Broncos over the last half decade plus.
Yep.
And with Dre Greenlaw's health issues to start the season, suspension issues, and then health issues again, and just feeling like we got a little bit of an incomplete on what his impact was going to be, I would not feel comfortable losing either Singleton or Sternad. And as much as Alex Singleton is, like, you proclaimed him justifiably so, a Denver sports legend, and the way that he has kind of just constantly shown up with a hard hat and lunch pail to do that job in the middle.
Yep.
He's turning 33, and you've got a guy in Justin Sternad behind him.
29.
It's 29.
Which isn't super young in the NFL either.
It's not, but have there not been moments this season where Justin Sternad has made you kind of go like, oh, maybe we could see more there?
Yeah.
So I'm conflicted.
Me too.
I'm conflicted.
Me too.
And I might be leaning toward like I would maybe be okay with either one that they chose.
Well, I'll say this. Without Alex Singleton, I think the Denver Broncos lose in the divisional round of the Buffalo Bills.
He was.
They are going in. Mm-hmm. They are going in to go up, I forget how many points, but definitely 2 possessions. Mm-hmm. And Singleton forces that fumble on James Cook, and that changed the game in a material way.
Yep, and he, in similar fashion, I think, to Riley Moss, I think he catches a lot of flack or collective criticism that's just assigned to him, even though it's maybe not his fault. He's also your green dot on defense, which I don't think is something that should be understated. And he's led the team in tackles for basically every year that he's been a Bronco, right?
Yeah.
And that was the case when he came over from Philly as well. And I think that there are people who kind of clown on him, and in fairness, it's like, isn't that his job to tackle the ball carrier, and he does it more than any other defender on the defense for year after year after year?
He's just a good football player.
Yeah.
He is. All right. Well, in this sort of vein of conversation, are the Broncos now one of the best destinations in the NFL? And if so, what does that look like this offseason? That's next.
A 2025 season came to a frustrating end. But the Broncos look like they're just getting started.
Just 2 years ago, you had people around the NFL saying the Broncos would be lucky to be able to field a team. And what did they do in those 2 years? They won 24 games, finished first, hosted the AFC Championship game, and lost a 3-point game with a backup quarterback.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I could achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You will feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I trust more in hair restoration. Their simple FUE treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day, and your new hair is backed by the Advanced Hair Guarantee. I know from personal experience, Advanced Hair's exceptional standard of care makes your comfort and your results their top priority. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR. Discover what meeting your resolution could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
For 60 years, this Toyota location has served Colorado drivers. And today, Groove Toyota carries that legacy forward with family-owned values and a smarter way to buy. Right now, Groove Toyota has over 150 used vehicles on one lot, with more than 50 priced under $15,000. So finding something that fits your budget is easier than you think. Inventory changes daily. See what's available today at GrooveToyota.com or visit us on Broadway in Inglewood. Groove Toyota. Start here. Go anywhere.
Are you worrying about those upcoming credit card bills after the holidays? If you're a homeowner, there's no better time than now to call American Financing and wipe out that debt, eliminate the stress, and set yourself up for a strong 2026. The Fed dropped rates for the 4th time in December. American Financing can help you access that equity in your home at an interest rate in the low 5s. You heard that right, in the low 5s. That is a much lower rate than the average 20% or more credit card rate. American Financing is saving their customers an average of $800 a month. That's like a $10,000 raise to start the new year. There are no upfront fees and no obligation to see how much you can save. And they are closing some in as fast as 10 days and even delaying 2 mortgage payments. American Financing, Colorado's home for home loans. Call them today at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000 or online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. APR for rates in the 5 start at 6.196% for well-qualified buyers. Call 303-695-7000 for details about credit costs and terms.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey guys, it's Mark Schlereth. I just made one of the best decisions of my life. I got rid of my glasses. I went to Cutarelli Vision and had refractive lens exchange, RLE. I wore glasses for distance vision, but I got to that inevitable point in life where I was always needing those reading glasses just to do about anything, and half the time I couldn't find them. Seeing menus, texting, reading my computer, or studying film, it was a struggle. But now I see the world perfectly, near and far, without any glasses, thanks to Cutarelli Vision RLE, the perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. Dr. Cutarelli is Colorado's most experienced with over 90,000 vision correction procedures. You can trust him to know if it's the right time for you and RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consultation at coloradorle.com. Cutarelli Vision, RLE, no readers, glasses, or contacts, or cataracts. coloradorle.com.
Stay up to date on the Broncos and the latest news from around the league with our NFL insider James Palmer, exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Mondays on The Rundown with Richie Carney, Tuesday afternoons on The Drive, and Friday mornings on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, all season long. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Are the Denver Broncos now one of the best destinations in the NFL? And if so, what does that look like this offseason? Man, interesting comments. Well, a few of them. This was Garrett Bowles after the game. Not after the game, the day after the game, clearing out his locker, and he said this.
People want to come to Denver. I mean, I'll be shocked to see how many free agencies want to come here. We got a young team. We got a quarterback. We got the best O-line in football. I don't care what anyone says we do. That's just reality. Numbers don't lie. Stats don't lie. You guys can look that up. That's just reality. When you have a dominant O-line and a dominant defensive line, people want to come here. When you got a phenomenal quarterback in Bo, people don't give him the credit what he had. The season that he had, it was phenomenal. I mean, second quarterback in NFL history to take our team to the AFC Championship game. We have 2 quarterbacks, in that same draft class that did that. Just speaks volumes of what that draft class did. We have one of those quarterbacks. We have a great running back room. We got great receivers. Obviously, we need some key players to come in and do what they need to do by, getting points on the scoreboard. We got a phenomenal defense. We have everything we need. We just need a couple more playmakers, and the sky's the limit for this team.
All right, couple more playmakers, sky's the limit. Obviously, it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. We show grace to Garrett Bowles. He's not a public speaker, right?
Cows are chirping, baby.
He is that dude.
Yeah. Dude, I love how he hits you with the Google me. He's like, we got the best O-line in the league. I don't care what anybody says. Numbers don't lie, even though numbers famously say anything you want them to say based on how you present them. And facts don't lie. Google me, Barbara.
He is so freaking funny, dude. I love that dude.
Yeah.
One of the great redemption stories in the history of this town.
Just a genuinely good guy.
He is, man. He is. So we show him grace there, right? But he said people want to come to Denver. Now let me give him a little bit more pushback too before we move on. I don't know if I'd be calling this offensive line dominant after what we just saw on Sunday.
Famously haven't been able to run the ball without J.K. Dobbins, and even then sometimes it was a struggle. It took some effort from J.K.'s part.
Yeah, so and maybe he's hearing about the overrated nature of the Broncos offensive line, and that's why he's being so forceful with it. But anyway, we know the overarching point that he's trying to make. This is a destination. All right, and I want to know, and there's no scientific way of knowing, but where are the Denver Broncos in the hierarchy of destinations right now in the National Football League? It's a small world, that NFL, and people obviously talk, and I would imagine the conversations that are coming out of Denver and landing elsewhere around the country is, whoa, ownership is insane, spare no expense, wait until you see how we fly, wait until you see how we eat, wait until you see the new practice facility, wait till you hear what the stadium is going to be like just wait type of conversation.
Well, let me ask you, Zach, if you're trying to place on a hierarchy where the Broncos rank from the outside looking in terms of attractive destinations, how many teams in the AFC have their dauber more firmly pointed up right now than the Denver Broncos with a healthy Bo Nix? Let's just say the AFC for right now.
I like that. I like that. No one.
I agree.
Absolutely no one. Go through let's just go through by division here for the exercise. Buffalo, no.
Mm-hmm.
You just got beat by Denver. Dolphins, no.
Hell no.
Patriots, in that conversation.
Probably would be number 2 for me.
Yeah, definitely in that conversation. New York Jets, obviously not, non-starter. Ravens, no. You don't, you just fired your coach and you're hiring a first-timer, so we'll see how that goes. And the stock on Lamar has really dropped here. Really dropped in a meaningful way in the last couple years from multiple standpoints. Cincinnati, no. Cleveland, obviously not. Pittsburgh, no. Houston, no. Indianapolis, no. Jacksonville, no. Tennessee, no. Kansas City. Now let's hit the pause button. Have the Denver Broncos surpassed Kansas City as a destination, or would that be too much of a prisoner in the moment?
I think I could probably, if I really wanted to, take a stance on either side. But if you're asking me just genuinely how I feel, Zach, I think the answer is yes. I think they have passed the Kansas City Chiefs in terms of attractiveness for a destination. Kansas City ruled the AFC and by extension, kind of the NFL for the majority of Mahomes' tenure as a starter thus far. We're going on almost, closer to a decade at this point of their dynastic run. But they're trying to hang on now, and they're having to rebuild for the second, third plus iteration of this dynasty. And the reality is it just gets harder and harder to do. Chris Jones was not who he was in years past. Travis Kelce is hanging on to an image of who he is as one of the greatest tight ends to ever play football. Patrick Mahomes showed a mortality in this season that proves that he isn't just able to cure all ails and overcome all obstacles for this Chiefs team. So if you're telling me if I'm a free agent destination, I've got to go try to help do that, or I can jump on a bullet train that is moving at warp speed at the Mile High City, give me that.
And also consider this. If you're, and I know it doesn't exactly work like this, but say you are in a fictitious scenario picking Kansas City.
I live in a dream world, Zach. I can say anything I want.
And we do sports talk radio, so we can shapeshift. But if you join Kansas City, you are just another chapter of something that already exists without you. You could be joining something of the first of its kind in this iteration.
You want to get it on the ground floor?
Yeah.
Or you want to hope that stock rises enough to make it profitable?
Well, I wouldn't say ground floor anymore, though. And that's where I think makes this conversation, because the Broncos have done some stuff. The Broncos were just in the AFC Championship game. So somewhere in between, though. Somewhere in between. And what if I told you 3 years ago that there would come a day where Pat Mahomes would not throw for 4,000 yards and would finish with 22 touchdowns and 11 interceptions? That's what just happened. Crazy. Okay, shifting gears a little bit. If you guys want to react to that conversation, RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. Bo Nix broke an ankle for the third time, and it cost the Broncos a trip to the Super Bowl. Coincidence or a pattern we can't ignore? That's next.
The Broncos have fired offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi.
We take the next step today.
With a rising star like Davis Webb waiting in the wings, is Sean Payton clearing the path to keep his talented QB coach in Denver? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you. Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Denver hockey wraps up a busy January in Magnus Arena Friday the 30th and Saturday the 31st as they face off against NCHC Bose Minnesota Duluth. Saturday night, the Pios will celebrate girls in hockey, featuring Miss Colorado and former college hockey player Gabby Gramont. DU hosts Minnesota Duluth the 30th and 31st in Magnus Arena. Reserve your seats today.
Between groceries, travel, and higher prices, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, especially if you're already relying on credit cards to cover the basics. If that debt is piling up, you're not alone. If you're a homeowner, you might have considered reaching out to American Financing, but hesitated because you don't want to give up your low mortgage rate. That's why American Financing created the Smart Equity Loan, a simple, smart way to get your finances back on track without giving up your low mortgage rate. Unlike a HELOC, which can fluctuate with the market, the Smart Equity Loan offers a fixed rate, so you'll have one predictable monthly payment. It lets you use your home's equity to pay off high-interest debt, free up your cash flow, and still keep your existing mortgage intact. There are no upfront fees to find out how much you can save. Call 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
The 2025 sell-off event is happening now at Bozar Chevrolet in Park Meadows and Celebration Chevrolet in Aurora. All 2025 Chevrolet models and select 2026s are priced to move. When you buy, you're choosing a name you can trust for all your automotive needs. Mention the Fan and get 10% off any service with tire rotation always price included with any basic service. Happening now at Bose Chevrolet and Celebration Chevrolet. All financing is based on approved credit. Incentives vary by model and availability. Select 2025 and 2026 models only. Service offer valid at Bose Chevrolet and Celebration Chevrolet with Metro Station. See dealer for complete details.
Hey, Mark Schlereth here. A new year doesn't always call for something new. Sometimes it calls for something better. If your home would be more comfortable with better windows or new siding, Gravina's Window Center of Littleton can help. Right now, save 25% on Infinity replacement windows and 20% off James Hardy siding with 12 months no interest financing. Call them 303-794-0490 to schedule your free in-home visit or visit windowsforyourhome.com and say this is the year your home feels better.
Hey Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. It's a new year. It's time to work on a new you.
At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. We have the nation's lowest prices on the best equipment money can buy. We carry true treadmills. They are the smoothest, quietest, and best warranty treadmills ever built for the home. Work out on your schedule on the equipment you choose from the safety and comfort of your own home. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
A diamond is the oldest natural substance you will ever hold in your hand, created over 40 million years ago.
There are very few items of true value in the world that fit in the palm of your hand that also express our most powerful emotions.
And that's why a natural diamond from Williams Jewelers is the natural expression of your love. I'm Michelle Williams.
And I'm Bruce Williams. It's one of the most important purchases you will ever make.
And you're counting on us to help you get it right. So come get hands-on with Denver's most beautiful natural loose diamonds.
At Williams Jewelers, I still personally hand-select every natural diamond we sell, from the finest diamond cutters in the world, direct to you, all at the guaranteed best price in the state.
Say, will you with Williams?
Where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers in Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue between Fillmore and Detroit, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on ESPN Denver 1600, CSU basketball faces San Diego State with pregame starting at 8.
104.3 The Fan. We are Denver Sports.
Leading off with the big story of the day, here's The Drive with Zach By and Denver, Colorado's own Phillip Lindsay.
1 hour in the books. Quicker than a New York minute. Hanging out with you here on a hump day. Richie Carney filling in for Phillip Lindsay today. Phil not feeling great. I am praying that I don't have what he has. So well wishes to Phil. We have so much to get to, man. We have so much to get to. That first hour flew by. Richie, thanks for being here.
You got it, brother.
I want to shift gears just a little bit, okay? And I want to circle back to the conversation we were just having, because Greg Penner spoke earlier today about some of the dynamics of becoming a desirable free agent destination that we can do a U-turn on just a little bit later in the show. But Bo Nix, man. Bo Nix broke an ankle for the 3rd time. And I believe in my heart that his lack of availability cost the Denver Broncos a trip to the Super Bowl. I genuinely believe that. Not that they couldn't have won the game without him, because I also believe if they go up 10-0, they go on to win the football game. But both things are true. Not having your starting quarterback, your franchise quarterback, kind of a big deal in a championship game.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm in a full cosign agreement with you. I think Bo Nix' availability and him playing in that AFC championship game, they win that game. And I wouldn't give them, even though they'd probably be underdogs nonetheless, I wouldn't count them out in a Super Bowl matchup with the Seattle Seahawks that I think would go very differently than the last time those two teams squared off.
Well, it seems to me, and this is just, I guess, anecdotal. I didn't keep score like throughout the last 2 or 3 days, okay? But it seems to me, anecdotally, that the concern level is really, really low around here. And I just want to talk through it. And before we do, though, because I already know people hear what they want to hear, okay? And the game of telephone that gets played with this, industry is wacky, okay? I am not, before we go down this road, I'm not saying anything doom and gloom or, Bo is like predetermined to get hurt or anything like that. But we need to have the conversation. 3 broken ankles is not nothing. And I think that a part of the reason why people are not alarmed is that Broncos country is going through this experience with Bo for the first time. And I think that if it was, let's just say Jamal Murray. Let's say Jamal Murray. And I want to talk about him a little bit later too.
Fair enough.
God, that was hard to watch at the backstretch of that game last night. We'll get to it. But if Jamal Murray broke his ankle 5 years ago, 6 years ago, let's say 6, let's go with 6. He breaks his ankle 6 years ago. And then he breaks his ankle 3 years ago. And then he breaks his ankle last week, all in a Nuggets uniform. I would imagine that there would be a further cry or much deeper concern about the habitual ankle breaking that has happened here in Denver. But I think that it shouldn't matter less because the first 2 ankle breaks didn't happen here. Just from how we're like internalizing it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, but did it not happen for Bo like in high school, college, and the pros? So
Correct.
At every level of organized football, basically?
And that's why I use 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Because it sort of follows that timeline. Like 6 years ago, Bo was like a senior in high school. 3 years ago, he's at Oregon.
And also, if I'm not mistaken, it's been a different type of ankle break every single time. So it's not just like you broke your ankle in this very specific spot or on this bone and you just keep re-injuring it the same way, the way that you can see athletes sometimes like re-tear a ligament that they've already had damage to, et cetera, et cetera. It's been different breaks. And then you hear the opinion from the medical professional. I don't know if it was the surgeon who oversaw the surgery.
It sounded like it.
Who said that because of pre-existing damage that existed, that a break was, quote, inevitable. Like that's what he said.
He said sooner than later.
Sooner than later. So to me, you're right. That should, in theory, create at least a little bit larger alarm bell than maybe it did.
Yes. And I'm so glad that you said that, Richie, and Richie Carney filling in for Phil today. When he came out and said, when the surgeon got in there, you can always see different stuff once you're in there. He's like, this was inevitable. It was sooner than later. Like, that didn't make me feel better about it.
Yeah, because, to use like a parallel example, it feels like, you get in you get into a minor fender bender and you're like, okay, I got to go do it. And then the insurance adjuster and the mechanic takes the car apart and they're like, oh, yeah, we got to replace your bumper, but also you punctured your radiator and we found a bunch of other stuff. And now what you thought was a minor repair, your car might be totaled kind of thing. It just felt like all of a sudden it was like, whoa, what do you mean there was pre-existing damage or they found more under the hood than we thought?
Yeah, that did not serve as some elixir, but it was almost delivered like that's why it's okay almost.
Yes, as a justification or like a, hey, see, it's, like it was going to happen regardless. Let's get it out of the way now.
Yeah.
Like proactive instead of reactive. Do you think that some of that narrative, Zach, or the lack of panic about the injury that I think ultimately cost them a spot in the Super Bowl was in some way influenced by the fact that Sean Payton stepped up to the microphone immediately after saying it and being like, we're fine. Stiddy's going to rip it. Just watch. And you had the butterfly effect, the echo that reverberated of like, hey, don't count out the Broncos without Jarrett Stidham. They're going to be fine. Do you think that the confidence that Sean had that kind of reverberated throughout this market and then echoed by the fan base and the national media just said everything's going to be fine, so maybe we don't have to worry about it?
Yeah, I think that played a part. I do because the pivot from the Bo news to the support of Stidham was dramatic.
Stiddy for the city.
I mean, it happened really quick. And a part of that obviously had to do with Sean's confidence. And I think that in principle, that was a good thing that he, tried to instill that confidence. Now, did that negatively impact the Broncos within Sean's psyche and making that decision on 4th and 1 and having the guy you said watch out actually throw it on 4th down? I actually do. I do, because that is like just classic Sean Payton, sort of like out to prove a point within trying to win the game. But that's sort of a different conversation. But yeah, I think that like if you just say it out loud, Bo Nix had an injury for the 3rd time that prevented the Broncos from going to a Super Bowl. And I just don't think that the reaction or the concern level is actually meeting the moment that actually happened. And I think a part of it has to do with the first 2 breaks didn't happen here. And we didn't even know that there was 2 breaks.
I didn't.
Sean Payton didn't. Sean Payton said he did not know that he had broke his ankle in high school and in college.
Which feels crazy, right?
It
With
does.
the amount of team personnel that are involved on the medical side of things, all the prep work and the study and the research they do in the combine process, the draft process, going back through collegiate film and tape and all those things. Like, the fact that just wasn't on Sean Payton's radar, who we talk about all the time, majors in the minor and is so granular with his details, that really surprises me.
It does. And again, I am not trying to paint some picture of fear about anything moving forward, but I'm just trying to like react to the picture that exists. And it's meaningful. How meaningful? We don't know yet. But this dude, like, we don't know if he's going to be back for OTAs. And now there's speculation that he will, right? And we hope that that's the case. But I don't know, man. Like, mobility and the athlete that Bo Nix is a huge part of his profile as a quarterback. And if some of that goes away, or God forbid, and knock on something wood, that it could happen again, it's squarely on my radar. And if it's not on yours, I don't think you're actually acknowledging what happened, the impact of what just happened, and the history of it happening.
Can you put a number on it, on your concern-o-meter, about where, as you come out of the fog of the loss and you're starting to look ahead and knowing what we know and seeing what we've seen, where's your level of concern, 1 to 10?
No, it's a good question. Haven't dusted that thing off in a bit. Give me that concern-o-meter. 6 out of 10?
That's the number that I was going to have in my head. And if you had said 7, I would have maybe, like, my thought would have been maybe that's high, but look at what happened with the Ravens when Lamar Jackson started getting banged up and how it completely neutered their offense and made them, even with somebody like Derrick Henry in the backfield, who we talk about the Broncos need to address the running back, position and how much that hamstrung them as an offense. Look at how it just completely made them lifeless on offense. And Lamar, who runs, as much as any quarterback in the NFL, felt the repercussions of that. And the other thing that would justify it being north of a 6 if you wanted to go there, because 6 is my number, look at what we just realized the Broncos are capable of, again, of reaching the mountaintop, of being the number 1 seed in the driver's seat of the American Football Conference, and being, even with a backup quarterback because of a defense that played out of their minds in the AFC Championship game, a spot away from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and this was a huge deal.
So that adds to me the gravity or the nervousness or the anxiety around Bo's ankle, because I now know beyond a shadow of a doubt the Broncos can go to and win a Super Bowl again, and they can do it with Bo.
Yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. And it does not feel like the concern level surrounding this really important thing that happened and derailed a Super Bowl appearance and maybe a Super Bowl win has been acknowledged enough. I really don't. And so it's one of these things where this is going to be a real topic of conversation. And we have to remember as well, Bo Nix also broke his back after his rookie year. Had fractures in his back.
Yeah, we found out about it like on locker cleanout day last year, right? He was sitting doing the press conference, and all of a sudden we're like, wait, he had fractures in his lumbar or whatever it was?
Yeah, so like it's just something to watch because it's been 2 years of Bo Nix, and you have fractures in a back after year 1 and a 3rd broken ankle after year 2. And
in 3 different ways.
Right.
It's crazy.
And then the comments on top of it of, hey, this was going to happen. This was going to happen to his ankle. That did not make me feel any better about it. So, again, not trying to strike up fear, just trying to acknowledge a very, very significant thing that happened that I don't feel like has the temperature of a conversation surrounding it has not met what actually happened, or those conversations haven't happened enough anyway. Okay, Greg Penner speaking to the media today. You know, it's a really interesting day. We don't hear from the ownership very often, once, maybe twice a year. And here was a Penner earlier today on what his input is with George and Sean on the football team moving forward.
Yeah, my style is more to probe and ask lots of questions. Try not to be in a position of needing to make any final decisions on these type of football decisions. But we've got an open dialogue. I talk to those guys every day. If we've got a critical decision we're making, we're gonna talk about it. But if the two of them agree on something and recommend, it'd be pretty unlikely that I'd ever overrule that. So the approach, I think it's working really well. And again, it starts with the two of them having a lot of trust in each other, and they each have a deep expertise and set of experiences, and that enables us to draw on that.
You can draw on those two guys' deep level of expertise, and if they agree on something, rarely would I ever step in and say the opposite. So I'm just trying to figure out what scenario would happen if Sean and George agreed on something where Greg Penner would step in and say, I'm actually going to veto this one, fellas. I can think of one scenario, and really only one.
Trading Bo?
No, because I think that, again, I think he would actually, as crazy as that would sound, I think he would actually stay in his lane, and he's like, you guys are drawing from your deep expertise. I'm not going to step in the way, but just know that if this doesn't work out, like, you will be held accountable, which he did say earlier today. He used that word, like, I believe in empowering people, letting them do their jobs, and then holding them accountable. The one scenario that I think that he would step in is if the Broncos tried to make a move like they have in the past that does not sit well with his own moral compass. And an example would be, hey, they brought in Pac-Man Jones here. And there's like if they tried to bring in Pac-Man Jones in this situation, and I think it was 2018 they brought in Pac-Man. And after vetting it, I could see a situation like, hey, I know you guys think it makes the most sense for our football team, and we're desperate, at that position, but
this isn't how I do things.
He's not going to have a Bronco logo on his helmet associated with what's on his Wikipedia page. Something like Randy Gregory could be another one. Hey, I got to tell you guys, this makes me feel uncomfortable. This might be a bad dude, and he's missed more games than he's ever played, and you guys want me to pay him $54 million guaranteed? This doesn't sit well with me. I want you guys to reconvene and come up with an alternate plan. But outside of that, I don't know what it would be.
There's a part of me that wonders, and it would have to be a very specific situation, but with what came out about Greg Penner's involvement or deference when it came to the Russell Wilson trade, when all that stuff came out, and he questioned it, but ultimately didn't, overstep or overrule or anything like that, that if a scenario like that, which God forbid, were to ever come up again, if he would hearken back to that and be like, you know what, I could have stopped this before,
that's good.
And I didn't.
That's good.
But now I know more, and I would do it differently.
Yeah, and you go back to that. It was the extension with 2 years left on Wilson's deal.
Yeah.
And he knew in his gut, Greg Penner knew, and we know from the notes, we know from the exposed notes, and that did not make him feel comfortable. And I'll give Mike credit because Evans was the only guy that was like, why are you doing this? Yeah. Let's see him play for a year.
Everyone just assumed it was a baked-in formality of the agreement for the trade.
For the trade, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, which it could have been.
Yeah, because of no trade clauses and things of that nature.
And I was just dead wrong when it came to that situation. I'm like, look, the market's only going up for quarterbacks. Like, just get ahead of it now. Like, and but no, that's a good one. Like, you're not going to see a Denver Bronco get an extension with 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah.
That's never going to happen again.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Yeah. So, okay. Outside of that, I really don't know. I really don't know what it would be. I don't know what it would be. Okay.
And I like that, for the record. I really respect that.
All right. A little bit more from Greg Penner. on Bo Nix's entire season, and if there is concern about that ankle that we were just talking about a few minutes ago.
Not zero concern. His surgery was a straightforward surgery, went very well. Absolutely no issues there or concerns going forward. I thought he had a second-year quarterback, fantastic season. He won 15 games for us. Showed his mettle in the fourth quarter, a lot of times bringing us back. So he would say the same thing. He's it's only his second year in the league, and he's got room to grow. And fortunately, Bo has a terrific approach of studying, working. He loves the game, and so I look forward to watching his continued improvement over the coming years.
Even hearing him just talk about football, so drastically different than 3 years ago when his arrival. It's amazing how far this dude has come with just talking the game of football after saturating himself for 3 straight years.
Yeah, and you can kind of feel the passion, the energy, the excitement for the football side of things, not the business side of things, kind of seeping out there a little bit. Like when he first got here, it was diving in head first and really being cold and analytical and wrapping your head around the business side of things because that's his wheelhouse. Now it feels like he's kind of stewed in it for long enough. He's been in the hot tub long enough that he feels, the warmth off of it and gets the romantic element of the football as well.
Yeah, I'll go back to what I said at the top of the show. My hope is that Greg Penner just got a little taste of what this feels like doing it at the highest level. And he becomes obsessed with winning. And when you become obsessed with winning, there is nothing that you won't do. And when you have the liquidity that this ownership group does, you can make that salary cap do backflips if you want. You truly can. And that ultimately, because if that happens, man, the level of accountability across the board goes up. Because here's the thing. You do not get that dude, he climbs mountains physically. He is like a 14er type guy. And he has climbed mountains even bigger than that elsewhere around the world. But you also don't get to the mountaintop of the business world without being wildly competitive. But in that world, when you're closing a deal or doing a merger or, acquiring a company, like you don't have 70,000 shareholders shaking a stadium.
Yeah.
And that's just a different level, and it's your team. So that's my hope, and the look on that dude's face today leads me to believe that obsession has begun.
I haven't been fortunate enough in my life up to this point to do either one, but I would imagine that there is a rush and a thrill and an exhilaration with closing a multi-million-dollar deal, successfully merging in a major corporate setting and that kind of thing, like Wolf of Wall Street Succession type of stuff.
Sure.
But I also feel very confident that there is a different kind of rush and an exhilaration to look out over the kingdom that you have kind of taken ownership of and seeing what you pointed out, 70,000 shareholders or people in a rabid football town giving 100% of their energy literally beneath your feet and feeling it in a very literal sense just reverberate through your body. That those are two things that I think are very different, but at their core strike something very similar within somebody who's wired that way.
Yes. And I also love this next part. So he was asked about giving the players what they want, and it was specifically J.K. Dobbins. And I forget who asked the question, but the question was sort of framed like, hey, J.K. Dobbins told us that he would ask you for stuff, and you would give him what he needed. And what is that relationship like between owner and player? And I loved his response.
Yeah, I think what's important is for our players to know that we care about their success, and we want to enable them to be perform at the highest level that's possible for them. I think it's also, we care about their families, their involvement in the communities, those types of things. I also think it's important to have a little bit of we're not here to be, you're not trying to become best friends with your players. Like I don't think that's the right relationship either. So But we care about our players. We get to know them. I think it's important for them to see us here, see us at practice. They know, so they know that we're intently focused on their success and our team's success.
It's striking the perfect balance of, yes, we want to give them what they need. Yes, we're invested in your success. Yes, we care about your family. But I'm not your friend. Mm-hmm. I'm the owner of the team. And I think there is a lot of cases around the NFL where these owners, they invest so personally in the players that it crosses the line and it impacts decisions that are made or not made involving their future.
And I think the evaluation of professional sports and professional athletes gets skewed so often because of the amount of money they make, the amount of money that's involved with it, and the way that can impact business or personal decisions. And I like the way that you phrase it as like striking a perfect balance, because we live kind of in a world of extremes.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
And I think that the way that Greg Penner articulated it there is almost kind of saying, in an essence, like, I and we as an organization ask these guys to put their bodies in a literal sense on the line every week, and we ask a lot from them and we profit a lot from them doing it at a high level. In a certain way, the least that we can do is offer up things on our end that make them more willing and able to do that for us. It's a contractual obligation and relationship, not a friendship that's bonded more emotionally.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it is transactional.
Yeah.
That's
the word I was looking for.
It's professional football. So I love it, man. Really good stuff from Greg Penner. We'll get into more of this audio throughout the afternoon. A lot of good stuff. Also, you are moments away from hearing from Bo Nix for the first time in a formal setting since his injury. But we just got quotes from Joe Lombardi, who was fired yesterday as offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos, and we'll pass him along to you coming up next.
Which pending free agent do the Denver Broncos have to bring back next season?
I will say this. If I did the ranking, right, of these 4 notable free agents, I'm going to put JFM first. If they don't want to prioritize him, I'm going to. You win football games from the big uglies up front.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What's going on, everybody? When you're dealing with joint pain, you don't just want guesswork. You want a real plan. And that's why I send people to RegenRx in Denver. Their professionalism is on another level. The moment you walk in, they break everything down for you. Maybe it's Wharton's jelly to support the joints, or maybe it's the shockwave therapy to wake up the blood flow back up. Whatever your situation is, they are going to sit you down, map it out step by step. And they don't just treat you once and disappear. No. RegenRx even builds a 6-month booster to help your results keep feeling strong. And that's how you know they're serious about long-term performance. But here's the part that everybody loves the most. Their consultation is completely free. You heard me, it's free. No risk, no commitment, just a real answer. If you're dealing with degenerative joints or pain that's slowing you down, this is your chance to see if their treatments can help you out. Look, if joint pain is stealing your explosiveness, your confidence, and your ability to keep up with your kids, stop pushing through it. Your quality of life matters. Guys, you matter. So you need to give RegenRx a call today at 303-630-9770 for your free consultation. Invest in your future self and let them know that Phillip Lindsay sent you.
Hi, Dan Cicchini with Dunright. Great pricing options and bank financing? You bet. Kitchens, baths, counters and floors, finished basements, windows and doors. Done right since 1985. You have our word, we'll treat you right at Done Right. Visit drhi.com. Thanks.
Hey, Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. It's a new year. It's time to work on a new you.
At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And You'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Brandon Stokely here for Colorado's hometown HVAC team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Is your heating system struggling to perform and need to be traded? It has never been easier to get a quote for a new heating system. Rocks Heating and Air offers a free online heating and cooling quoting system so that you can quickly and accurately get pricing on a new system. Only at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Babe, your arms look amazing. Working out is paying off.
Thanks. I just wish my chest matched. No matter what I do, I'm frustrated with my man boobs.
Hey, don't beat yourself up. More than half of men have gynecomastia. It's gland tissue, not laziness. Same thing is happening to my friend Trisha's husband. He went to Dr. Cameron Dastry at Modern Surgical Arts of Denver.
For real? You get good results?
He got great results. Call him, honey.
Call today. They're offering complimentary consultations for the fan listeners. 303-470-3400 or at modernsurgicalarts.com.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more. Designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements. More energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or visit RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
What's up, guys? You need healthy options you'll actually crave? HelloFresh brings the flavor with homemade meals that are wholesome, fresh, and always hit the spot. Turn fresh, balanced ingredients into home-cooked meals that are easy to make and taste great. Keep your health on track with GLP-1 friendly options and high-protein meals packed with over 30 grams of protein. My lady is always telling me how I need more protein in my life. From udon soup to hearty chicken pastas, enjoy mouth-watering dishes that spice up your weeknights. Go to HelloFresh.com to explore plans and menus because nothing hits like home cooking.
The 2025 sell-off event is happening now at Bose Chevrolet in Park Meadows and Celebration Chevrolet in Aurora. Mention the fan and get 10% off service with tire rotation included. Offer while inventory lasts. All financing is based on approved credit. Incentives vary by model and availability. Select 2025 and 2026 models only. Service offer valid at Bose Chevrolet and Celebration Chevrolet with Metro Station. See dealer for complete details.
Want to partake in our contests? Check out the rules at DenverSports.com.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on ESPN Denver 1600, CSU basketball faces San Diego State with pregame starting at 8.
104.3 The Fan. We are Denver Sports.
Every day at 3:30, the drive comes off the top rope to hit you with a 1, 2, 3.
Finally, the Rock has come back to Denver.
Tape your wrists, stretch your spandex, and oil your hair. Here's Zach and Phil with today's 3 count on the drive.
All right, let's come off the top rope with it.
1. All righty. Voice kind of weak today. Forgive me. Okay. We have Comments from Joe Lombardi, who was fired yesterday. He's worked with Sean Payton for 15 years and was relieved of his duties yesterday afternoon, almost exactly 24 hours ago. Well, Chris Thomason of the Denver Gazette got in touch with Joe Lombardi, and he was asked about the firing. Lombardi said, quote, Sean decided to move on. I don't think it's ever a surprise. You could tell he was in one of those moods when he felt like some changes needed to be made, and I guess he decided one of those was me. I've been around him long enough to kind of read the tea leaves, end quote. So this, this was more of a traditional firing, I think.
Yep.
Than what we thought yesterday. Of like, this is all about clearing the way for Davis Webb. Maybe not so much.
Yeah, no, I think that's obviously where everyone's mind immediately went, was you're paving the way for an heir apparent for the popular wonderkind of the cycle with Davis Webb to kind of stay in the building. But Sean Payton's not been shy about voicing his displeasure publicly or behind closed doors when he thinks something's not right. And yes, he and Joe Lombardi have had a decade-and-a-half-long relationship as partners, in a sense, in the NFL. But that doesn't mean that you're above reproach or accountability. And clearly that's the way Sean chose to approach this.
Wow. That is a telling quote right there. This was a good old-fashioned firing.
I know you didn't call the plays, but I'm mad at you, and we're going in a different direction.
but you want? I was thinking about this earlier today. Maybe you never know. Maybe, well, one, it's probably not about just one thing. It's probably a build-up, and he said, I can read the tea leaves, which lends itself to this was not about a singular moment. But you never know. Maybe it's a Saturday before the game, and they're going over short-yarded situations. He's like, Lombardi says to Sean,
I love that naked boot.
Hey, you might want to think about that naked boot if they give you that look. No, something like that.
Yeah.
Or like...
Which a play caller would want to do to take in the advice of the people. That's why you put people around you. That's your counsel.
Yes. So if he is suggesting that, and that turns into the ugliest, moment of the season and derails a Super Bowl appearance, maybe that was just the straw that broke. And again, we're speculating, but what I think we just learned is this was independent of Davis Webb.
Even if it ends up being that Davis Webb fills that vacancy and all that, clearly there were other factors at play.
Yeah. All right. Wow. Next in the 3 count. 1, 2. All right. We got Avs and Senators tonight. All right. The last time these two teams shared the ice, by the way, that is in Ottawa tonight. And the last time these two teams shared the ice, it was spicy. But the Avs have dominated this matchup. They have won 7 straight against Ottawa. The last time out that these two shared the ice was, I don't know, about maybe 3 weeks ago, a month ago. It was 8-2 Avs. All right, that was back on, I have the date here, January 8th, so 20 days ago. But if you remember, that game stuck out because of the spiciness between the two teams, that Josh Manson had his Gordie Howe hat trick, where he got in a fist fight and honestly tuned homie up. I forget who it was, and Manson's got a great pair of hands. But he also had it was his first ever 4-point night, and he had 2 goals and 2 assists. And there was a separate fight that night, and it was the first time I've ever seen this dude fight. If you remember, Sam Girard got in a fight that night too.
Hey, if your short king on the team is scrapping, you're having a good night, because that Sammy G is not typically the guy that wants to drop the gloves and duck up.
No. Was that the only fight of Sammy G's career? I think it was. I can't ever remember him getting in a fight, ever. And so that was the last time these two teams, it was super physical. If you remember, there was multiple misconduct penalties, it got really personal between the two teams.
There was also maybe the most bizarre statement that a professional sports organization has ever released right before a game.
Literally.
Involving rumors of infidelity that was exposed by their goaltender amongst his teammates.
Dude, you can't make it up. That day, for me personally, will live in infamy because it was the biggest missed sports gambling opportunity of all time. And had I known that that was going on with the Ottawa, and so let's just recap it real quick. The goaltender for Ottawa, who I think was hurt, I think he was down, and he Yeah, he was on a leave of absence.
Yes.
Okay? And Drew, let me make sure I got this story right. He was on a leave of absence, and then he was telling his wife about all his teammates were cheating on their wives.
My understanding of it was he got caught allegedly.
Well, I think that happened after.
I thought it was he got caught allegedly, extramaritally, and his way of trying to weasel out of it was by exposing all of his other teammates, almost like a misdirection of like, well, look at all this is going on. At least I didn't do what he did, or he did, or he did.
Okay.
I thought that's what it was.
So that was the sequence.
Yes.
I thought he was talking out of school about his teammates, and then she ended up finding he was doing the same thing.
No, I think he pulled the ripcord on him.
Okay.
So shoved them out of the plane.
So regardless, she then turns around, the wife, and tells all the other wags. And
who could have seen that coming?
The unsettled nature of that locker room was so wild. And you remember, I think it was Brady Tkachuk talking about it after the game. This is, F and BS, and our families are getting talked about. The general manager literally had put out a statement before the puck dropped
with an official letterhead.
And by the way, guys, none of it was ever actually explicitly denied. Nobody actually ever came out and said none of this was true. They were just pissed that this was being talked about in the public eye.
And that's the way I said it was. The only thing I think you shouldn't do if you are confronted with unfounded, very loose, speculative rumors.
Release an official statement.
Release an official statement to validate them. That's maybe the only thing you shouldn't do, and they did it.
That's unbelievable. So anyway, these two teams back on the ice tonight in a matchup that the Avs, like I said, they've absolutely owned this one. 7 straight wins over the Sens. All right, we're going to kick out of the last slap of the mat in the 3 count. Something in Denver sports that was supposed to be free proved very costly. We'll get to that in a few short minutes. But, guys, Bo Nix just spoke to the media for the first time since his injury. And I don't think he's very happy about something. Could there be a fracture about a fracture? Details next.
After a heartbreaking loss in the AFC Championship game, how will the Broncos approach their pivotal offseason?
We have to be on our game. We have to make really good decisions. We're going to be aggressive. We have some cap room. We have 5 picks in the first 4 rounds. I always talk flexibility. We're going to have all sorts of flexibility.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
A family office is a team built to handle the 3 biggest financial responsibilities a family faces: wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning. Most firms only manage your investments and refer the rest out, hoping everyone stays aligned. At Trajan, we built something different. Your wealth, tax planning, and estate planning are handled together inside one firm under one roof. There's no guessing whether your CPA, advisor, and estate attorney are truly in sync, because our team works together every day on your behalf. When your financial life becomes more complex, your advice should become more coordinated, not more fragmented. One plan, one trusted team. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent.
Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Is your money doing everything it can for you? Like automatically pushing more of your money to savings every day?
I don't think so.
Then switch to Huntington Bank. And let's get more from money. Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Taxes was waiting on the refund you needed yesterday.
All right, your car repair is going to run about $3,000.
Ugh. Now Taxes is getting back on the road with TurboTax and Credit Karma, where you can get your refund up to 5 days faster and get personalized guidance to take every dollar further. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Deposit a federal refund into Credit Karma Money account and early submission of refund data by IRS required. Terms apply. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Credit Karma is not a bank.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Rain on game day doesn't faze Dave. He's already got his poncho. Just needs to do something about those wipers. So Dave heads to AutoZone,
Welcome to AutoZone.
where a friendly AutoZoner helps him get premium quiet wipers and some hand warmers.
You're all set.
Now, if only his team can handle the elements as well as his new wipers. Get wipers, glass cleaner, and more with no hassles, just help at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
When you've been hit by an 18-wheeler, there's 3 things you need to do. First, call the police and get medical care. Second, don't talk to the insurance company alone. And third, call the truck crash lawyers at Berg Simpson Law Firm. Berg Simpson has 50 years of experience holding them accountable and over $50 million recovered after truck crashes. Call Berg Simpson today and let us fight for you so you can focus on healing.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
Hey, Colorado, when you're in the market for a new truck or SUV, head to Johnson Auto Plaza. Explore their huge selection of new Chevy, Buick, and GMC trucks and SUVs. Find your new truck or SUV at JohnsonChevyBuickGMC.com. Stop in and experience the Johnson advantage that so many now know. Johnson Auto Plaza is your truck and SUV headquarters. Just north of E470 on Highway 85, JohnsonChevyBuickGMC.com.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss, presented by Fitness Gallery. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, so, wow. What an afternoon. So, Bo Nix just spoke to the local media, okay? He had some really interesting comments.
Spicy.
Okay? Some really interesting comments. So, Bo was asked how the injury happened and then how many surgeries he has had on the ankle. This is what he said.
Nothing predisposed, nothing that was there originally. I might have gotten confused, but it's just a simple step with my foot up in the air. My body weight came down on it and sort of got twisted up and got out of there pretty quick. I think that's the good part of being athletic. Sometimes your body gets out of worse situations. So could have been a worse landing, but I think all that force went into the only place it could, and was just one of those missteps. And didn't have any predisposed issues. Man, my ankles were feeling really good. I don't think he really should share how many surgeries I've had in the past, to be honest with you, but because I don't, he doesn't really even know that. But I think it's going to be good, to get back, get to work, start from ground zero. Work from the bottom up, get back to training, and nothing really that concerns me, nothing that scares me going forward, like I'm, injury prone or anything. This is one of those just inconvenient football plays, and I'm excited already to get back to work and don't, feel can't necessarily avoid anything in the future, but I feel really good that my body's going to be in good shape.
All right. So you have to listen to it through a filter of sort, and he's on a Zoom call, so it's not a traditional press conference. But Bo is Mr. CEO.
Right.
Bo never wants to say anything to draw attention.
No, he's on the campaign trail.
Yeah. He is very presidential, and, to the point where he did not like what Sean said about him in the preseason, where you watch this guy, he's going to be top 5 in the next 2 years. He did not like that, guys, and made it, pretty clear. But this one right here is different. When he goes out of his way 2 different times to say there was nothing predisposed, that is saying that is the opposite, the literal opposite of what Sean Payton said yesterday.
He led off with it, circled back to it 15 seconds after leading off with it, and then ended it with, and frankly, he shouldn't be talking about things he doesn't know about.
Yeah.
My head coach.
Holy smokes. Bo. Whoa.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Man, him saying he should not be talking about he's wrong. He's wrong about my predisposed ankle. Let me make that clear. But also, he shouldn't be sharing that with you guys. And by the way, he doesn't even know. That's about what a really, really interesting wrinkle. And I'll just use the low-hanging fruit, a bit of a fracture there between coach and quarterback.
Isn't it fascinating how you can look at things from different angles and see different things? I mean, weren't we all just giddy and applauding when Bo Nix kind of fired up back at Sean Payton on the sideline during, was it the Raiders game, right? Of hey, back off, I got it, don't get in my face, don't whatever. Or when he's caught on the broadcast visibly frustrated with Sean not getting the play in on time, and he's clapping and he's kind of pointing to his helmet. And we take those things of a riff between, or at least a disagreement between a head coach and a quarterback, and we go, look how healthy that is, their relationship, this and that. But then you have this one where they have a disagreement on how something should be handled, and you're like, that's not good at all.
Yeah.
That is. And obviously health and things are involved in this where they maybe weren't in others. But I just think it's fascinating from a glass half full, glass half empty standpoint about the tone of what's going on.
Yeah, and here's what I know. To what extent, I'm not sure. But these two, with this issue, they are not on the same page. They are not on the same page.
Do you think maybe some of Greg Penner's energy and tone that you have kind of pointed back to throughout the course of this show might be influenced a little bit by the fact that Greg knows a little bit about what's going on and maybe what we just heard from Bo?
I've heard a lot crazier things, because when at the top of the show, during our crosstalk with Dover and Cecil, I said, guys, one of my biggest takeaways of Greg Penner's press conference today, which, by the way, was the only one we thought was scheduled for today. So I want to circle back to that thought. Please don't let me forget that. But I said, man, Greg Penner had a really, really, really serious nature about him today. He didn't smile, let alone crack a joke or make light of anything. And in a way that Sean honestly did. I was not anticipating Sean Payton to have the lightness that he had about him yesterday. Dude, your decision-making helped impact the Broncos not going to the Super Bowl, and you're making jokes about the scooter laps and, trying to be funny and bringing up the Luka stuff from the past from the Denver Post and big old smile on his face. Complete opposite today from Greg Penner. And to think that, Greg Penner's saturated in this stuff. He's saturated in it. And if his coach and quarterback are not on the same page, that's concerning. And that causes three people were just fired yesterday as it is. But your coach and your quarterback clearly are not on the same page with a really impactful sequence of a broken ankle, to the point where they're literally saying the opposite stuff. Where Sean Payton is saying, once they went in there, they realized the ankle was predisposed, essentially, to a break. It was going to happen sooner than later. And Bo wants to set the record straight. That's not true. And he shouldn't even be talking like that. He doesn't even know. And so, but going back to what I just said, Drew, so help me out on this. When did we get the email from Megan from Broncos PR that Bo was going to talk?
Let's see, I think it was about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Let me look.
Exactly 1:21
Yep.
p.m.
Okay,
1:21.
so 1:21 in a press conference that was going to be held at 3?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder. Now I'm speculating for this next chapter, okay? So please take what I'm saying with a grain of salt because I'm literally speculating. I wonder if Bo Nix was so pissed off at Sean.
Give me a microphone.
That I want to talk. And by the way, deep cut back to last year. Bo Nix was not supposed to talk at the end of last year and unprompted said to the media, I have fractures in my back. And we were like, whoa, like this wasn't supposed to, like, you weren't even supposed to be talking. So Bo has, I'm bringing that up because he has shown a propensity in the past to take the initiative to talk. And I wonder if he wanted to take the initiative today to set the record straight from his side of the story.
It's funny you say that, Zach, by the way, because the beginning of the press conference, Bo basically intimated that he's the one that called for the press conference.
You're kidding.
Before we got into the questions.
We'll take a quick time out, continue this conversation coming up next.
A 2025 season came to a frustrating end. But the Broncos look like they're just getting started.
Just 2 years ago, you had people around the NFL saying the Broncos would be lucky to be able to field a team. And what did they do in those 2 years? They won 24 games, finished first, hosted the AFC Championship game, and lost a 3-point game with a backup quarterback.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
I am down 60 pounds with SodaWeightLoss.com, and the weight came off naturally. And I'll tell you, having my own nutritionist, someone who is always available by text, made all the difference. It's real support from a real person. That keeps you consistent. SodaWeightLoss.com is the #1 weight loss company in America for client satisfaction and results. Clients look and feel just like I do, 10 years younger. You're moving easier, you sleep better, you get your confidence back, and it is awesome. And with nearly 9,000 plus positive Google reviews, the results speak for themselves. And here's the best part. Join now and your partner joins for free. You start together, you support each other, and you both get younger feeling, healthier versions of yourselves. Go to SodaWeightLoss.com. That's SodaWeightLoss.com, SOTA weightloss.com. Learn how to eat, what to eat, and when to eat, and transform your life, just like I did with SodaWeightLoss.com. Soda Weight Loss is, say it with me, state of the art.
HelloFresh makes home cooking nutritious, delicious, and exciting. You excited when you get those freezer-burnt, pre-packaged meals in the mail? I know I'm not. Go to HelloFresh.com to explore plans and menus because nothing hits like home cooking.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code PLAN to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code PLAN to borrow up to $10,000. Use code PLAN to borrow up to $10,000.
Brandon Stokely from my friends at Roller Auction, leader in Colorado auctions for over 40 years. They conduct over 150 auctions every year, selling tens of thousands of items at the price you set. Auctions are held regularly for Colorado government agencies, and they always have big-ticket items at great prices. That's why I love Roller Auction. And almost all bidding is conducted online in real time, and it's open to the public. Anyone can participate. Check back regularly. New auctions are added weekly. Be the first to know about new auctions available for bidding when you sign up for email notifications. Go to rollerauction.com/thefan.
Looking to upgrade your kitchen, laundry room, or outdoor cooking area? Look no further than Mountain High Appliance. I'm Brad Barnett, president of Mountain High Appliance. We have hundreds of appliances hooked up live for a true try-before-you-buy experience, plus professional delivery and installation. Our price match guarantee ensures you receive the best deal, and special financing options make your purchase affordable. When it's time for new appliances, think Mountain High Appliance.
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you.
Still haven't filed your taxes? You're not alone, but the longer you wait, the harder the IRS can hit back. Penalties, interest, letters, none of it goes away on its own. At Advanced Tax Solutions, resolving IRS problems is all they do. Whether you're a year behind or 10, their licensed tax professionals can step in fast, stop the stress, and help you get back on track. Don't let another day slip by. A quick call could mean a quick resolution. Contact my friends at Advanced Tax Solutions today and take control of your tax situation before the IRS does.
Tune in Tuesday afternoons for Injury Insights with Zach Bai and Dr. Joseph Ramos to hear the latest injury news on your local teams and around the world of sports. Ramos Law. What makes us different makes us better.
Denver counts on Fix-It 24/7 for heating and plumbing with legendary service. Proud partner of the Denver Broncos and proud to serve the community. FixMyHome.com.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on ESPN Denver 1600, CSU basketball faces San Diego State with pregame starting at 8.
104.3 The Fan. We are Denver Sports.
You're listening to The Drive with Zach Bai and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, so things just got really interesting around here. Really interesting. And so if you're just joining us, and you guys got to hear this piece of audio that we're about to play. We haven't played it yet from Bo Nix. So if you're just joining us, Bo Nix just had a press conference, okay, on Zoom. And during the press conference, and let me just try to organize my thoughts here, Richie. Richie Carney filling in for Phillip Lindsay today. So we now know for sure Bo Nix called his own press conference.
How do we know that?
So I just speculated about that in the last segment, okay? I said, man, he kind of did this a year ago, but if he is pissed off that Sean Payton is kind of talking out of school, for lack of a better term, about his injury, and Bo doesn't believe that what Sean is saying is correct or doesn't want him sharing that, like there's a scenario where he called his own press conference. And we now know that to be true because we went and pulled the opening statement from said presser.
Hey, first off, thank you guys for joining today. Wanted to get in front of y'all on Monday. Just had a lot going on, wasn't able to do that in person at the end of the year, but since it didn't work out, wanted to open it up here, answer a couple questions you guys have. Happy to do it, and then just cover up the year and go over some things. So open up for questions,
dude. This is like I want to read something from the RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. This season just ended and you're already pulling out your tinfoil hats. What a shame, dude. If you think we're pulling out a tinfoil hat and manufacturing this, you are not paying attention or you're not very smart. So I'll let you pick which one.
Yeah, no, this is not. We didn't call the press conference. Bo did, and I love the part where he's like, I wanted to talk to you guys on Monday. This is the soonest I could get in availability. Because Sean talked on Monday, didn't he? It was Sean Monday, then it was George and it was
George and Sean Monday.
Yeah.
No, excuse me. No.
That was yesterday.
It was George and Sean yesterday.
Okay, that's what I was trying to work out.
Players on Monday.
Yes, there we go. Yeah. So he was like, hey, this is the soonest I could do it.
Well, and then he goes on to say this.
Nothing predisposed, nothing that was there originally. I might have gotten confused, but it's just a simple step with my foot up in the air. My body weight came down on it and sort of got twisted up and got out of there pretty quick. I think that's the good part of being athletic. Sometimes your body gets out of worse situations. So could have been a worse landing, but I think all that force went into the only place it could and was just one of those missteps. And didn't have any predisposed issues. Man, my ankles were feeling really good. I don't think he really should share how many surgeries I've had in the past, to be honest with you, but because I don't, he doesn't really even know that. But I think it's going to be good, to get back, get to work, start from ground zero, work from the bottom up, get back to training, and nothing really that concerns me. Nothing that scares me going forward, like I'm, injury prone or anything. This is one of those just inconvenient football plays, and I'm excited already to get back to work. And can't necessarily avoid anything in the future, but I feel really good that my body's going to be in good shape.
All right, so Bo clearly not happy with Sean Payton. If you're not acknowledging that, you're just not paying attention, or you're not very smart.
Nothing predisposed once, nothing predisposed again. And hey, Sean, tread a little more carefully if you're going to speak on me. How's that?
Wow. And Mike Kliss tweeting. This is
the best.
This is a bar. He goes, when it comes to injuries, if Sean Payton is your source, you better get a second source. That's unbelievable.
That's amazing.
That is unbelievable. Yeah. So a bit of it's just two different people on not on the same page, and Bo did not sound very happy. It just kind of is, and again on the RamosLaw.com text line, Bo wants to set the record straight because folks in your industry are suggesting he's injury prone. All right. And they said some people are actually discussing drafting another quarterback. That's crazy.
But also, we didn't say predisposed or an injury was bound to happen. Sean Payton did.
That's what makes this a story.
Yeah.
It's not because folks in our industry are acting like, no, the head coach came out and told us that he's had 3 ankle surgeries, and Bo's not very happy about it, and probably hasn't been very happy about it since the comments were made after the game. And clearly wanted to set the record straight, and clearly called his own presser. The email got sent out from the Denver Broncos at 1:21 p.m. for a presser 90 minutes later. This was not on the docket. We got the email earlier this morning about Greg Penner, right? I forget what time that email went out, but that was
7:30 this morning for an 11 a.m. presser.
Yes, so it's like you give a few hours heads up. This was 90 minutes, and I anticipate Bo was just like, hey, I want to talk.
If Bo was going to talk today, it would have been included in the email at 7:30.
Yeah.
You have to send out a separate one because you added to the docket. You added to the agenda than what you were going to do before.
Correct.
I got a point on the RamosLaw.com text line that goes, boy, I thought Sean Payton was adamant he wasn't going to talk about injuries.
Yeah. Well, no, that's really interesting.
100%.
Because all year he would just almost muscle media members when they would try to ask about injuries, and he just wouldn't talk about them. But then in this case, with your starting quarterback, you said he's not only talked about the injury, said it was his 3rd injury, and also said the surgeon told you guys that when they went in, that it was going to be predisposed and the injury was going to happen sooner than later.
Was Sean Payton pulling a little Ottawa Senators goalie there? Was Sean Payton maybe going out of his way to talk about how an injury was bound to happen and predisposed and all that because it potentially, in his mind, maybe took a little bit of heat off of the fact that he was running Bo so much and put Bo in a position to get hurt that way and maybe misdirect some of the... Was there a little defense being played, perhaps, on Sean's part?
No, you want to know what? I totally understand why you would say that, but in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, I would say no, because Sean Payton has an incredibly real track record with just saying too much. And I can point to 5 different examples.
Charles Robinson,
off the top of my head. Yes, off the top of my head. In 3 years where he just sometimes can't help himself and he says too much.
The double latte moment.
Yeah. I mean, this was a coach. And let me just emphasize this because I don't want to get carried away with the tone. We're reacting to a story that's unfolding right in front of us. So Sean Payton has done a killer job since taking over here in Denver.
He is the most influential person in this turnaround of the Denver Broncos.
Along with Greg Penner, who was able to make it happen. So I don't want this to someone to hear the tone of the conversation and say, man, these guys are crushing Sean. Sean has done a killer job. But in this case, I'm just telling you for sure, and I shouldn't have to because you have ears and an actively working brain and you're hearing it unfold right in front of us. These two are simply not on the same page, and Bo sounds pissed off.
Yeah. I took away, one of the things I took away from hearing Bo say that and the tone with which he said it, with the context of him calling this presser, was if there was any shadow of a doubt, at least how Bo views himself within the organization of the team, that comment there to me and this whole press conference as a whole says, this is my team, and you're not going to speak on me in a way that I don't think is fair or appropriate. I think this was almost Bo's way of saying, I look eye to eye at you now, not the other way around.
See, and I said this after the divisional round about Bo. I think what happened in that Bills game and the way that it happened with Bo Nix, I think he took the reins of the organization. And I think the best teams are player-led. And I think that Bo, while presidential and CEO energy, I've been saying for the last year when it comes to Bo Nix, he's got CEO energy. He's also a human being. And so you have someone that has equity that he may have not even had 8 weeks ago, let alone a year ago. And he wants it to be known he's not very happy. And, I would love to be a fly on the wall at Dove Valley right now, because despite the team winning 14 games and going to the AFC Championship game, you just had to fire 3 coaches yesterday. It wasn't the style of firing that I thought. I thought it was, maybe just clearing the way, other people becoming available. We know Joe Lombardi's quotes to Chris Thomason that we read 20 minutes ago of, hey, I felt it coming. I've been around Sean. He was in one of those moods. It was more of a traditional firing. So you have that element going on. You have Sean Payton saying too much. Your quarterback calling a press conference and getting on the record that, hey, Sean says play better. Like it's a version of that from Bo Nix to his head coach. Like, dude, be better.
You've said a number of times, sometimes the best thing you can do to prove your worth is to step away,
not be around. Yeah.
And if you don't think that Bo Nix sitting up there in the box watching what happened unfold against the New England Patriots and the video that we saw and the reporting from James Palmer and others of him scootering into that elevator, just shaking his head in frustration, if you don't think that those emotions that were probably stewing in that moment helped validate the feeling of his standing and his importance within the organization and contributed to his desire to correct Sean Payton's narrative here, I think you're crazy. I think all of this has just kind of come in one big emotional flush, and we're getting kind of a bubbling of it right there.
Wow. And there's another element of this that we haven't mentioned from Bo Nix's perspective that we'll talk about next.
The Broncos have fired offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi.
We take the next step today.
With a rising star like Davis Webb waiting in the wings, is Sean Payton clearing the path to keep his talented QB coach in Denver? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients, participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on most beds with base. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at a Sleep Number store today.
Hey, Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. It's a new year. It's time to work on a new you.
At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
Hey, Mark Schlereth here. A new year doesn't always call for something new. Sometimes it calls for something better. If your home would be more comfortable with better windows or new siding, Gravina's Window Center of Littleton can help. Right now, save 25% on Infinity replacement windows and 20% off James Hardy siding with 12 months no interest financing. Call them 303-794-0490 to schedule your free in-home visit or visit windowsforyourhome.com and say this is the year your home feels better.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 3/22/26. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
2026 is shaping up to be an amazing year to buy a home in Colorado. If you've been dreaming about getting into your first place, upgrading for more space, or downsizing for a simpler lifestyle, now is a smart time to start planning. And the first step is easy. Get pre-approved. With American Financing, you can get it done in 24 hours or less, so you'll know exactly what you can afford before you start shopping. Rates have been dropping, home prices are steady, and more homes are hitting the market. You could score the right home at the right price and lock in a monthly payment that fits your budget without stretching yourself thin. And unlike renting, every payment you make goes toward your future, not your landlord's. And here's a misconception we love to bust. You do not need 20% down. Many buyers purchase with as little as 3% down. So if home ownership is on your 2026 goals list, let's make it happen. Call American Financing, Colorado's home for home loans at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Okay, does this happen to anybody else? You sit down with a juicy QPC, some McNuggets, and those golden fries from McDonald's. Then you take a long sip of your Sprite because you can still hear your mama saying, "Don't fill up on that drink before you eat your food." But you're grown now, so you do what you want.
Share and share alike with the 20-piece McNuggets from McDonald's for just $6. Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
A friend asked me the other day why I loved being in the diamond and jewelry business so much. I'm Shayna Williams.
And I'm Dylan Williams from Williams Jewelers. It's not just about shiny rocks, precious metals, and meticulous craftsmanship from the world's very best.
It's really about you.
It's your life and loves. It's about your moments and the ones that define you.
It's the birthdays, the anniversaries, the birth of a child. It's when you're on one knee asking the love of your life to spend forever together with you.
For 3 generations now here in Denver, you've trusted Williams Jewelers with the most important moments in your life.
That's what's precious to us.
And why we love what we do here at Williams Jewelers every day.
You see, our why is you.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers of Englewood, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche. In Englewood at Broadway and Bellevue, and right now online at WilliamsDiamonds.com.
The 2025 sell-off event is happening now at Bose Chevrolet in Park Meadows and Celebration Chevrolet in Aurora. Mention the fan and get 10% off service with tire rotation included. Offer while inventory lasts. All financing is based on approved credit. Incentives vary by model and availability. Select 2025 and 2026 models only. Service offer valid at Bose Chevrolet and Celebration Chevrolet with Metro Station. See dealer for complete details.
Stay up to date on the Broncos and the latest news from around the league with our NFL insider James Palmer, exclusively on Denver Sports 1043 The Fan. Mondays on The Rundown with Richie Carney, Tuesday afternoons on The Drive, and Friday mornings on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, all season long. Denver Sports 1043 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
All right, so a bit of a curveball here on a Wednesday, and we're just sort of reacting to it. This little, what do you call it between these two? You know, sometimes if me and my wife like go at it a little bit, but it's not like an actual like fight, but you're like spatting over something.
Like a tiff.
I was just gonna say we call it a little tiff. This is a little coach and quarterback tiff, but I think it might actually have maybe just an added layer of seriousness as opposed to just semantics about words.
No, there's a deeper underlying frustration that this is just kind of bringing to the surface a little bit, I think.
Yeah, and so, but there's an element. So just to recap, because I know our audience is always coming and going, and if you've been here with us for the last handful of segments, man, we appreciate you so much. Richie Carney filling in for Phillip Lindsay today. You know, so we had this information from Sean Payton that honestly, it was going to be a segment today, and it was a segment at the top of the 3 o'clock hour. Hey, like 3 ankle surgeries, like. Why are we not taking this like a little bit more? Like, it just derailed a Super Bowl appearance. And I know 2 of the 3 didn't happen here, but why is the tone not more serious with the level of concern with something like so material? Like, there's real substance here.
Especially when, as you did earlier, put it in the context of like any other high-profile athlete in Colorado sports who has a track record now or has had an ankle break or issue virtually every 2 years. You know what I mean? Or spaced out similarly.
Yeah, and so we have the comments from Sean Payton after the injury revealing that Bo Nix is going to have 3 ankle surgeries. Okay? That was news. And that was news to Sean. That's what makes this also different. And so then you have the comments from Sean Payton yesterday when he said this.
What was found, though, what was a condition that was like predisposed right at that, they always find a little bit more when they go in, and it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. So it wasn't, because when you look at the play and you're trying to evaluate it, he said, the doctor, operating surgeon said that this was going to happen sooner than later. Now you go about the rehab, proper orthotics, all those things. But he's been one of those players that I would say has been available. There were others in that draft class that weren't as available.
All right, so I'm going to cut it off there. So that's the essence of like what was a continuation of what sparked these comments today from Bo Nix. Because the first installment from Sean Payton was after the game saying, this is the 3rd time he's broke his ankle. Mm-hmm. That was news to Sean and news to all of us. So there's the first chapter. The second chapter is saying when they went in there, they found out he was actually predisposed. This was going to happen sooner than later. That's the second chapter. And then you have the Bo Nix chapter today, literally calling his own press conference.
Hey, first off, thank you guys for joining today. Wanted to get in front of y'all on Monday. Just had a lot going on. Wasn't able to do that in person at the end of the year, but since it didn't work out, wanted to open it up here, answer a couple questions you guys have. Happy to do it, and then just cover up the year and go over some things. So open up for questions.
The heads up on that press conference was 90 minutes.
Which is very atypical for the record for Broncos PR and the way that they get in front of things.
Extremely. So that lends itself more to Bo maybe like unprompted was like, I want to talk. I want to talk today.
Because you got to remember, like, the media and the people that cover these press conferences, they come from all over the state. So Greg Penner was supposed to talk at 11 a.m. today, and we found out at 7:30 this morning.
Right.
Because these journalists, these people that work for other outlets, including us and all that, have to structure their day of coverage around that event. And you got to give more than 90 minutes head up.
Yes.
In a traditional sense.
Yes, and that's why the presser was done on Zoom. Yep. This was the only presser done on Zoom because someone like Troy Rank is coming from like Longmont.
Right.
It's going to take him 90 minutes
up,
to
you know what I mean?
Golden. Yeah. So it's like so they wanted to do he wanted to do this presser today, and clearly you just heard him say that. And then you have the addressing Sean Payton. I'm not going to play the whole clip again, but here's essentially the meat of it.
Nothing predisposed, nothing that was there originally. I might have gotten confused, but it's just a simple step with my foot up in the air. My body weight came down on it, and sort of got twisted up and got out of there pretty quick. I think that's the good part of being athletic. Sometimes your body gets out of worse situations. So could have been a worse landing, but I think all that force went into the only place it could, and was just one of those missteps. And didn't have any predisposed issues. Man, my ankles were feeling really good. I don't think he really should share how many surgeries I've had in the past, to be honest with you, but because I don't, he doesn't really even know that. But
all right, so I'm going to stop it there. He shouldn't even be talking about how many surgeries I've had in the past. By the way, he doesn't even know. And circling back twice to say, I have no predisposed. So, again, clearly just not on the same page. But here's the other element that I wanted to mention about this. Bo Nix is on a rookie contract. Bo Nix is looking to play well again this coming season and get an extension. He's not playing on a fifth-year option. He's looking to get an extension. And when you have the head coach who claims to not talk about injuries and beat you over the head with that for 6 straight months when anyone asks, and then he's now volunteering not only the number of surgeries, they went and it's predisposed. Like, you're kind of like, if I'm Bo and I'm trying to put myself in Bo's situation, it's like, dude, this is the kind of stuff that gets used against people in contract negotiations. And to look past that, I think would be naive.
100%. And what player in the National Football League has a bigger potential bag in front of them than an ascending young quarterback on a rookie contract? They reset the market every single extension for the most part. So from Bo's perspective, you're looking at that and going, hey, whoa. One, what you're saying is not true, and you don't know 100% of what you're talking about. I want to make that clear. But also, why would you put words out there into the ether that would prevent me from advancing in my career and getting what I feel I've deserved, or am certainly on track to deserving 2 years into my NFL career with what we've been able to accomplish and what you've been able to accomplish with me in tandem, right? Like, I play a role in this, and now you're all of a sudden getting in the way of what I could be in store for.
Wow. Very interesting chapter. This is kind of juicy in a way that you don't want, or didn't see coming. But head coach and quarterback on different pages publicly, quarterback calling his own presser. That is
that's the move of someone who feels ownership of the organization.
Yeah.
That's somebody that's like, hey, no, Patrick Smythe, Broncos PR, give me a microphone because I have to set the record straight on something, and it's important.
Yeah.
And 90 minutes is all you have.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Wow. Okay. So, incredible year, incredible coach, incredible quarterback, but it is not all peaches and cream. It's not all peaches and cream right now. And I go back to what I saw earlier today from Greg Penner. I didn't know any of this was going on. Mm-hmm. And I came in here in the very first segment in the crosstalk, said one of my biggest takeaways of the day was Greg Penner and 80% of language being nonverbal. And we'll talk about that next.
Which pending free agent do the Denver Broncos have to bring back next season?
I will say this. If I did the ranking, right, of these 4 notable free agents, I'm going to put JFM first. If they don't want to prioritize them, I'm going to. You win football games from the big uglies up front.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
The Ultimate RV Show is returning to the Colorado Convention Center in Denver, Colorado. Admission is free. Join us January 28th through the 31st to shop special show pricing on over 300 fully staged new and used RVs. Get a first look at brand new models. Browse a huge selection of pre-owned RVs. Check out the latest RV gear and accessories and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show at the Colorado Convention Center, January 28th through the 31st. Get your free ticket today at ultimatervshow.com.
Hey, Mom. It's me. Oh my gosh, you'll never believe what I just opened for Valentine's Day. A sapphire ring from Hellsberg. Just like the one I lost years ago. Remember how excited I was when you gave it to me? I cannot believe you remembered that story. I guess you were right. I really found the one.
This Valentine's Day, create a moment that means something with up to 40% off gifts at Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I could achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You will feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I trust more in hair restoration. Their simple FUE treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day, and your new hair is backed by the Advanced Hair Guarantee. I know from personal experience, Advanced Hair's exceptional standard of care makes your comfort and your results their top priority. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR. Discover what meeting your resolution could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Dan Jacobs with 303 Law 4040. Hey, I got a real cool story I wanted to share with you. Many years ago, my lovely wife Kimberly wrote down a prayer that said, God, make me a lighthouse so I can be a light to others when they're in a dark place. She filed that card away both in her heart and her prayer box. And then about 3 years ago, I asked my wife to leave her job in corporate America and come help me open up 303 Law 4040. And she absolutely loves it. She really feels like helping other people when they are hurting and don't know what to do is her calling. So here's the really cool part. A few weeks ago, a client came in to pick up a check and said to Kim, I really want to thank you. You were a lighthouse to me when I was in a dark place. It gave me chills when Kim told me that. If you've been hurt in an accident, it really is our honor to help you in your time of need. Call us anytime at 303 Law 4040, where you always get to speak directly with me or my lovely wife, Kimberly. That's 303 Law 4040. Go ahead, save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it. It's 303 Law 4040.
Hey guys, your boy Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. Now, when Team USA is on, you can almost see the moment when the kid starts believing, hey, I could be next. Now, while Xfinity can't guarantee that, they can guarantee something super important. That's your internet price won't change for 5 years. No contracts, no commitments. So, while your kid's ordering online or streaming highlight reels, your Xfinity internet price won't change. It will not budge. And who knows, by the time the next Winter Olympics roll around, your kid could be getting fitted for their very own Team USA uniform. And guess what? You'll be paying the same price for reliable Wi-Fi. And there's even more to enjoy with Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 10 years. That's a $10.99 value each month. Xfinity, imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-paid with stored bank account. Taxes, fees, extras. Actual speeds may vary.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app?
Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code PLAN to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code PLAN to borrow up to $10,000. Use code PLAN to borrow up to $10,000.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on ESPN Denver 1600, CSU basketball faces San Diego State with pregame starting at 8.
104.3 The Fan. We are Denver Sports.
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, so Greg Penner had a press conference today, and I came in here, and Richie Carney filling in for Phillip Lindsay today, and we're doing the crosstalk, and I said to you guys, I'm like, I think my biggest takeaway from Greg Penner, and he covered a lot of ground, but I'm like 80% of language is nonverbal, and that guy, he was so serious. I didn't see a smile. There was no lightness at all. And, I said to you, I don't know if he's projecting this level of seriousness with like an acute sensitivity to what happened on Sunday. And I am the owner and I am not happy. And I'm going to
set a tone.
I'm going to set a tone that this isn't good enough. We're going to hold people accountable and all this stuff. Hey, and in the business world, 3 people got fired from his organization yesterday. So I think if he wasn't going to come in there, I wasn't sure what was behind it. Was he organically that serious?
Or posturing?
Was he posturing and projecting that seriousness? Or now there's a third option. There's a third option now. Is Greg Penner not very happy because he knows what's going on inside his facility between his head coach and quarterback?
The fracture about the fracture.
Yeah. I mean, to think that is not option C after A and B is completely naive.
Yeah, no, there is, again, to the people who are, whining or complaining about tinfoil hats, and you guys are making something literally it's all over the YouTube chat, it's all over the text line. You guys are overblowing this, you're being bombastic, you're making something out of nothing. Somebody was like, listen to his voice. Is he annoyed? Yes, but he didn't sound pissed. And it's like, he literally told Sean to know your role and shut your mouth.
Yeah, basically.
He literally said, don't speak on things you're uneducated about.
Yeah, and like I said after we first played his comments, is that Bo Nix is presidential. Bo Nix is CEO, so he's not going to come out and pop off like, Tony Montana. But that's the most aggressive you're going to hear Bo. But I just can't get over the fact that he called his own press conference.
It's a baller move.
It really is. And typically you'd say the next pro athlete who has an obligation to speak literally on a weekly basis, he's the only one that has the NFL obligation to speak every week. You would think after doing that over and over and over and over, he's the last guy that wants to volunteer to speak to the media?
Because of the emotions of what went into the end of the Bills game and what he had to watch, and we know because of the video that's out there and the reporting from James Palmer and all these other people about how visibly dejected and frustrated he was watching that AFC Championship game unfold and getting into the elevator and shaking his head and all of that, knowing the same things that we feel very confident about, that if he was out there, everything plays out very differently, and the Broncos conversations we're having are significantly different. So knowing all of that and feeling pretty confident that Bo feels the way that he feels, to say that him calling this press conference, going out of his way to set a narrative straight that he feels is very, very different from what his head coach laid out, and that none of that stuff is emotionally charged or related in any way is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. So, wow. File this under things that you did not see coming on Wednesday, January 28th. And I go back to last summer, or excuse me, technically this past summer, when Sean Payton said what he said to, who was it that time? Was it Charles Robinson that time?
The most recent one was Charles Robinson.
Yeah, from Yahoo, saying Bo Nix is going to be a top 5 quarterback in the next 2 years.
I love that he said 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just top 5. It's like he might be 4.
Yeah, yes. And then put the timestamp to it. Bo didn't like that. That's not Bo. Bo is say less, not more.
It's also, from Sean Payton's perspective, it's writing a check that you don't have to cash. Bo has to cash that check now. And if he doesn't, the debt collectors go to him. You didn't follow through on this. Sean laid out this runway for you, and you failed. So it's almost like, from Bo's perspective, I don't want to say that about myself. I don't need you to go out there and put it in front of me when I'm already got enough, hard work in front of me to be able to develop and make it in this league.
Yeah. So that was the tone with Sean Payton. Not ideal in a public setting between coach and quarterback. What was the tone from Bo Nix when he was asked about Davis Webb?
Yeah, well, just speaking for myself, I think Davis is a tremendous coach. He understands the role of being a coach. He understands the role of teaching. Really knows how to communicate with your players and with me. He's helped me in 2 years just consolidate, make things simple, and just keep the main thing the main thing. And taken a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, and been able to just roll right into it. And I think highly of him. I know he's a really good football coach, and I know he's got a lot in store for him in the future. Don't know what it looks like. A lot of speculation. You never know until it happens. But for him, if say he was a head coach in the division, I'd enjoy beating his butt 2 years every year, 2 times a year. But fortunately, I think nothing I can do about it, and so I can just stay in my lane and make sure that I'm just doing my best. And I know everything, it's all going to work out. The season's going to get here. We're going to have an OC. We're going to have a play caller. We're going to have our team, and we're going to go out and try to beat our opponents. And so, but just me speaking on him, he's awesome coach, awesome. Going to be an awesome, whatever role he's in, he's going to do great things. But whether it's head coach, whether it's OC, whether it's continue to be a quarterback coach and developer, I think he's going to do a great job.
Man, he loves himself some Davis Webb.
Little bit of a switch up in tone there. It's like, hey, Sean should speak on things that he's educated on, and that's it. Davis Webb, though, now here's a guy that's a great communicator that only keeps the main thing the main thing.
Knows how to communicate with the players.
Yeah. And rumor on the street has it that he doesn't take 17 seconds to get a play call in. But that's beside the point.
Well, look, I don't want to get carried away with the Sean stuff. Sean has been great here, but this is clearly there is a
tiff.
It's a tiff between coach and quarterback.
And you know what? There's enough at stake with the Denver Broncos because of what they've just proven that they can do, that it makes sense that something like that would be emotionally reactive and volatile because the stakes are real.
Yeah.
This isn't a dysfunctional organization that's in the basement of the NFL doldrums anymore. This is a team that was on the doorstep of the Super Bowl, and in my opinion, and I think yours, would have been there if Bo Nix's ankle hadn't gotten injured.
Agreed.
In that Bills game.
Agreed.
So if we feel that confidently, they sure as hell do too, and I think that adds to, because they're literally the ones in the foxhole and in the trenches with each other trying to make it happen, not like us sitting on the outside.
Yeah.
That's how these things happen. That's the kindling that sparks the fire.
Yep. Man, okay, so we will circle back to comments from Greg Penner, who gave a rare press conference today. That was supposed to be the only one scheduled. You'll hear more from Bo Nix. What do things look like moving forward with Bo Nix? And also, hearing some, hey, you got your tinfoil hat on. If you want to put a tinfoil hat on right now, we actually can in not one, but 2 different places. We'll get to all of that as we are on the doorstep of 40 consecutive minutes of commercial-free sports talk coming up next.
After a heartbreaking loss in the AFC Championship game, how will the Broncos approach their pivotal offseason?
We have to be on our game. We have to make really good decisions. We're going to be aggressive. We have some cap room. We have 5 picks in the first 4 rounds. I always talk flexibility. We're going to have all sorts of flexibility.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Rain on game day doesn't faze Dave. He's already got his poncho. Just needs to do something about those wipers. So Dave heads to AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone,
where a friendly AutoZoner helps him get premium quiet wipers and some hand warmers.
You're all set.
Now, if only his team can handle the elements as well as his new wipers. Get wipers, glass cleaner, and more with no hassles, just help at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Hey, Colorado, when you're in the market for a new truck or SUV, head to Johnson Auto Plaza. Explore their huge selection of new Chevy, Buick, and GMC trucks and SUVs. Find your new truck or SUV at JohnsonChevyBuickGMC.com. Stop in and experience the Johnson advantage that so many now know. Johnson Auto Plaza is your truck and SUV headquarters. Just north of E470 on Highway 85, Johnson Chevy Buick GMC.com.
Hi, I'm Lexi, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where we're all about you. Your style, your budget, your dream engagement ring. We'll take total care of you. First, come browse all the beautiful settings in our cases. Take your time and try on as many as you want. You'll know when you put your ring on. Your heart will skip a beat. Now, onto your center stone. We can look at different diamond shapes and sizes until we find the perfect match. Come visit us in store, because a friend wants you to get exactly what you want. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
What's up, everybody? It's Cecil. You'd love new windows. I'd love new windows. That's why I went to Window Nation. Why? Because I live in Roxborough. I deal with a ton of wind and cold winter months. Well, that means the higher heat bills. I don't want that. Well, how do you fight that? You fight it with new windows. Right now, Window Nation's buy 4, get 4 windows free sale. You can get them with 0 down, 0 monthly payments, and 0 interest for 2 years. It's time. Don't wait to put an end to your window problems. Visit windownation.com now. It's windownation.com.
Discover incredible savings at the Mountain High Appliance Clearance Center in Denver. I'm Brad Barnett, president of Mountain High Appliance. Our clearance center offers a huge selection of ranges, refrigerators, laundry, and more. Save up to 60% on open box, scratch and dent, display models, and overstocked appliances from Bosch, Thermador, KitchenAid, and many more. When you're looking for great deals on appliances, our clearance center is your go-to destination for the best prices and selection.
Mountain High Appliance, your favorite appliance store.
Thank you.
Your air duct cleaning experts, Ductworks.
Hey guys, feeling cooped up this winter? Mark Schlereth here. You know these Colorado nights can get freezing cold with your furnace running non-stop just to keep things cozy. But here's the thing. While your heating system is working overtime, it's also blowing dust, dirt, and debris through your air ducts and straight into the air you breathe. That's where Ductworks comes in. Your trusted air duct cleaning experts. Using a powerful combination of scraping and vacuuming technology, the Ductworks team clears out years of buildup, grime, and other gunk hiding in your ductwork. The results? Cleaner, fresher air, better energy efficiency, and a healthier home or office for you and your family. Don't wait until spring. Breathe easier now with top-rated service from Ductworks. Call them at 303-425-0985 or visit them online today at ductworks.com for a free residential or commercial estimate.
303-425-0985.
You want to be happy. You want to see your family safe, your children inspired, and your friends succeed. This is Glenn Jameron. I'm president of Alpine Bank, member FDIC. The key to a bright and promising future rests in the core values you first learned as a child: trust, compassion, empathy, understanding, and perhaps the most important of all, being kind. Respecting the traditions you hold dear doesn't make you old-fashioned. but rather empowered in this modern and oftentimes complex world of ours. In fact, your values, your leadership, your caring and kindness inspires Alpine Bank. Return to your core values. Alpine Bank, committed to Colorado and you.
Taco Bell's new Lux Value Menu has 10 indulgencies, each $3 or less. That much Lux could have you expecting a maitre d' at the drive-thru. At participating Taco Bell stores while supplies last. Price of participation vary. Tax extra.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss, presented by Fitness Gallery. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, less than 12 minutes. We're going to get back into Broncos and the comments from Sean Payton, the comments from Bo Nix, the comments from Greg Penner. And 2 of the 3 of those came in a way that we did not quite expect. So we'll reset that whole conversation because all is not well in Broncos country right now. Within the 4 walls of Dove Valley, okay? Or Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit, to be more specific.
TM.
So we'll do that here in a couple minutes. Very interesting day in a way that we didn't see coming. But we spent a decent amount of time on that. I want to step out of that situation for just a second. You know, people were telling us, hey, and it wasn't a lot of people, right? You hear from a loud minority. Hey, you guys are, wearing tinfoil hats. You guys are being dramatic and making stuff up. No, we're not. We're actually reacting to a scenario unfolding in real time that we didn't see coming with an unprompted Bo Nix calling his own presser. And we'll get to it all. We'll get to it all. But if you wanted to put a tinfoil hat on, we kind of can. And not just one, but maybe 2 areas of Denver sports. There's something happening right now in the underbelly of the NHL that is wildly interesting, and it may directly impact the Colorado Avalanche. Okay? Drew Spivak, behind the glass. You've been following this story closely. Go ahead and summarize for us what we need to know on the ongoing inner workings of the NHL with a really awesome player and how it could impact Colorado.
Yeah, so the New York Rangers have basically said, hey, we're selling. We're going into a rebuild type thing. So all their big name players they're looking to sell. Well, it comes out a little bit ago. Artemi Panarin, people may know as the bread man.
Yep.
Unbelievable player. Highly skilled forward, making a lot of money. But it's been announced that he will not be in the New York Rangers lineup tonight or the rest of the season up until the Olympic breaks. We're talking 4 or 5 games, about a week and a half, due to roster management purposes. Now, why is that interesting? You'd think, okay, it's not that big of a deal. However, the Colorado Avalanche have been heavily rumored to be very interested and been wanting Artemi Panarin for a very long time. If you go back to 2019 when Panarin was a free agent, the Avalanche were the runners-up for his services.
Yep.
He ultimately decided to go to Broadway.
Yep.
The rest was history. Now, the Avalanche play a game here in about 45 minutes to an hour. Ross Colton, who we all presume is a possible trade candidate, not in the lineup for the Avalanche tonight as well. Now, we've heard he's been dealing with an upper body injury, but he was practicing yesterday morning.
Right.
But he's held out of the lineup tonight. Another possible guy that could be moved for the Avalanche, Sam Girard, making a lot of money. He's in the lineup. However, the Avalanche did call up a defenseman that hasn't been called up all year, Keaton Middleton. I wonder why that is.
My Brian Windhorst senses are tingling.
That's exactly what I thought.
Why would they do that? Why would you call up Keaton Middleton when you haven't called him up all year? Why now? Why does it align with Panarin sitting out for roster management?
Now, you could say that they called up Middleton because you could be expecting a physical game tonight with the Ottawa Senators, who you had a physical game with a couple weeks ago, and he provides that kind of a punch, no pun intended. But, I don't know.
A little bit.
Could be something, could be nothing.
Man, I'll just tell you, this could absolutely go down. This could absolutely go down. It feels like, say the Sam Girard part again.
The part about him being a possible trade candidate, making about $5 million.
We've talked about Sam Girard in a trade for 3 or 4 straight years.
Feels like they can't get rid of him.
And the rumor is, that the Avalanche have been trying to trade him for the last 3 years.
Well, he's an undersized defenseman, right? So that's a negative knock on him. Teams don't want to be overloaded with undersized D-men.
Of course.
So
Guy flies around, though.
He does.
He is, whoa.
And he could be a perfect fit with Adam Fox, who is the Rangers' number 1 defenseman.
There you go.
Along with Ross Colton, who is a young guy he's making about $4 million, a decent chunk of money, but could fit for a team that is looking to retool.
Man, what happened? And I know we don't care here, but what happened to the Rangers? It was like 3 or 4 years ago. They were like one of the younger teams ascending to the moon. I just assumed that they were going to be around for years and an issue in the East.
Part of it is they added JT Miller, who is a locker room issue, you could say, and that might be part of the equation there. But a lot of different issues going on in New York.
So the tinfoil hat conversation is Artemi Panarin could be a member of the Colorado Avalanche, and I don't know, man. Like this dude, and we've obviously watched him play for years. He's fantastic, and I think he would be a great fit here in Colorado.
Would that not also just be the ultimate satisfying, aggressive, push the chips in move for an Avalanche team that is experiencing one of, if not just the best seasons in franchise history, but in NHL history? They've flirted with historic benchmarks all along the way, and it's like they're experiencing all this success with the crew they got, and Chris McFarland and company are like, we need another piece if we're going to cross that threshold, and we're going to go get him.
Yeah.
And his name is Artemi Panarin.
Man, this. Whew.
You want to talk about a top 6?
This would be a big boy move.
Love it.
Dude, the top line of Artemi Panarin, Nathan McKinnon, and Marty Necas.
Stop.
A second line of Arturi Lehkonen, Val Nichushkin, and Brock Nelson, who, by the way, Brock Nelson, NHL's leading goal scorer since November 29th.
I was going to say, didn't he lead the league in scoring in the month of January as well?
Yeah.
Huffing
21
and
goals in
puffing the whole
26
time.
games, yeah.
Man, oh man, oh man.
And you get Gabe Landeskog back, he goes back to your third line.
This team,
which could be like reasonable and a good thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Overexposure wise.
No question.
This, they're already a steamroller. Man, if they can
put some
pull this
nitrous
off
on that thing.
Yeah. Put some nitrous on the steamroller. And I'll tell you what, you talk about a feather in the cap of Chris McFarland. If he pulls this off, goodness gracious.
And it gives you money to go out and add another defense because you would lose one in this scenario with Sam Girard. But Panarin's making 11-something. Now let's say the Rangers retain some of his salary in order to get both Girard and Colton. If that's
adds up to like 9.
Yeah, if that's the road they want to go. Yeah. The Avs already have about $6 million in cap space at the deadline. Like, they would not be done. They could go out and get a bigger body defenseman, which is what a lot of people feel like they probably need in order to get over that hump to get a cup.
Sure.
Is it the Ted Lindsay general manager award?
Yes, Ted Lindsay, yes.
He'd have my vote.
Yeah, I thought he should have got it last year.
I agreed. Some people did not.
All right, the other compartment of potential tinfoil hat stuff. Guys, Peyton Watson, who, by the way, last night in clutch time, playing one-on-one defense against Cade Cunningham in the closing moments in a way that was, you see the elite on-ball defense from Peyton Watson against guys like Cunningham, against guys like Kevin Durant. It's phenomenal, and the offensive explosion here, and I know it was a little bit different last night, but he has had just an incredible season to the point where there are now many people within the NBA that are speculating that Peyton Watson could be the target of the Los Angeles Lakers.
That is significantly less fun.
Yes.
Yeah, that is.
And Peyton Watson has basically turned into the prototype of an NBA player, where he is not just what the Nuggets or Lakers would want. He's what everyone wants, okay? And the fact that he has developed offensively to the point where he's averaging over 14 points a game, all right? And I will say, like, in general, on a possession-by-possession basis, not some of the same defensive impact than before he started this scoring. So it takes a lot to be a two-way player. in that moment last night that I referenced, I mean, it was fantastic, but in general, over the course of these games. So his defense has slipped a little bit. His offense has exploded. But he has basically, look, he's a 6'8" wing who can guard the league's best perimeter players at the point of attack. He represents a level of athleticism at 23 years old that you're flat out missing in Denver without him. But he has become one of the top topics of conversation in the entire league, and he is being referenced as a major domino of the NBA offseason.
Does it feel kind of frustrating in a sense to you, Zach, that it kind of just seems like the timeline and the timing for a player like Peyton Watson was just slightly askew of what the Nuggets needed? I mean, he was clearly more of a crock pot player than a microwave player because of his limited sample size in college.
Totally.
And you knew it was going to be a developmental runway. And now it's like, when the Nuggets have pushed themselves right up to that second apron, they've made all these other moves, and over the course of doing that, Peyton Watson was still simmering, hadn't come to a boil yet, and now that he has and it's exploded, it's after Christian Brown's already been paid. It's after the finances have already been doled out.
Right.
And just like the conversation we had with JFM and Malcolm Roach with the writing on the wall, the Nuggets have been pretty clear that they don't have a strong desire to just catapult themselves into that second apron. There's already reports about them wanting to make a deal before the deadline in a minor sense to get back below that $500,000 line.
Correct.
So that basically tells you Peyton Watson's not in their future plans, whether it's at the trade deadline this year or in the offseason if he just goes that direction. Does it feel frustrating that the timing just feels like we didn't get to savor it?
No, but it basically the timing couldn't be worse.
Yeah.
With Watson. But here's what I want to mention. First of all, the Nuggets have to find a way to make this work. They have to find a way.
What does make it work mean?
Make some sacrifices and amputate a part of your team that you really do not want to in order to keep him a part of this operation. And there's only a few people, and maybe only two, that could be off limits to try to make this work financially. And here's what else I want to say here while we're right here, because we are talking in our market about, hey, if you signed Peyton Watson, then you're going to go into the second apron. Guys, they made the decision. Now, I got to choose my words carefully. Not necessarily make the decision, but when they signed Christian Brown to the extension, they're going into the second apron if they don't make a move. That's before the Peyton Watson signing. We are having conversations in our market as if the Peyton Watson signing would send the Nuggets into the second apron. No, they're already going that way. They would need to make moves and shed salary to not be in the second apron just to make Christian Brown's contract work, let alone Peyton Watson. So it's not like they are barreling towards the second apron next year when CB's contract kicks in. So I don't know how they're going to make this work. I really don't. But they have to find a way. But if you think there's such thing as a free lunch, you're crazy. You're going to have to do something that you really don't want to do in order to make this 23-year-old player who has blossomed into the player that you hoped he would on draft night in 2022, you have to find a way to keep his arc a part of this Nuggets organization.
I agree with you. It's obviously not my money to spend, and I think we as media members and we as fans have that luxury of being able to move chess pieces that we don't have stake in, hypothetically speaking, but I just don't get the vibe that that's the direction that they want to go. As aggressive as Ben Tenzer and Jonathan Wallace in their first real go-around as co-executive VPs of blah, 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 as aggressive as they were in the offseason in a manner that I thought was actually appropriate for the setting and the situation and something that was lacking with Booth and Malone, it just doesn't seem like that's the direction that they want to go. So what would they have to do to get there then? Like what does it lay out? What's the path?
We'll have to put a pin in that and discuss it here in the coming days, because there is a path, but it's going to sting, and it's with some fan favorites. But you cannot develop this player, get him to the point. Talking about Peyton Watson, get him to the point that he currently is, and then have someone else reap the
and then let the Los Angeles Lakers enjoy his prime.
And wouldn't that be Lakers? Wouldn't that be historically Lakers? Right? Like, hey, Kareem develops in Milwaukee, but he's going to win championships
He's
in
gonna be a
LA.
legendary Laker.
Shaq will develop in Orlando. He's also going to be a legendary champion. And so you can't let that happen, but that's the scuttlebutt. We'll continue following the story. Obviously, the trade deadline's not tomorrow, so we're going to keep having these conversations.
Coming up, though, right? February 5th?
Yeah, we're
like a week from tomorrow?
Yeah, week from tomorrow. So, all right, this is KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. We are coming with it, and we are coming for it. It's Zach By hanging out with Richie Carney, who's filling in for Phillip Lindsay today. And you are listening and rocking with The Drive. What an interesting day. What an interesting day doing this job in this town in this moment. And there's some stuff that came down the pike today that we did not see coming. One, today was just always going to be an interesting day because the owner of the Denver Broncos, Greg Penner, was going to give a rare press conference. And I know I've mentioned it, but it bears repeating. I watched that press conference with the subconscious knowing that 80% of language is nonverbal.
Mm-hmm.
And Greg Penner covered a lot of ground today, and we'll get into some of it. And some of it we'll wait for tomorrow. But one of my bigger takeaways that I mentioned at the top of the show, I'm like, man, Greg Penner was as serious as a heart attack today. There was not a lightness. There was not a smile. And at the time, I said to you, Cecil and Dover, I said, hey, he was really, really serious. And I wasn't sure if he was organically that way and people just lost their job and he's got to have a sensitivity to that. And this fan base just was let down with a potential trip to the Super Bowl and he's got a sensitivity to that as well. And he's going to organically feel that way. Or as the owner of the team, you're going to project that seriousness and it's simply meeting the moment of losing that game and people losing their jobs yesterday. And I'm not so sure. Now, it could have been, Richie, but you come to find out, we're doing the show, and we get a heads up, when was it? Like right before we went on air, I want to say.
Or it was.
It's like 1:30 in the afternoon, 1:21.
1:21 exactly.
1:21, an email goes out that Bo Nix is going to speak to the media. And we're like, whoa. That wasn't in the 7:30 email this morning. It was just Greg Penner. And what unfolded after that, we just couldn't have seen coming. Now, I don't want to the following conversation is kind of juicy, okay? It's kind of juicy, and it's kind of a war of words a bit. War is too extreme, but it's kind of like there's some friction here. That
a little verbal jousting.
Yeah, a little verbal jousting that ended up unfolding in Bo Nix's press conference. But the start of it, let's just get this on the record. Bo Nix called his own press conference. And we know that because of his opening statement.
Hey, first off, thank you guys for joining today. Wanted to get in front of y'all on Monday. Just had a lot going on. Wasn't able to do that in person at the end of the year. But since it didn't work out, wanted to open it up here, answer a couple questions you guys have. Happy to do it. And then just cover up the year and go over some things. So open up for questions.
And I speculated that he could have called his own press conference because he kind of did that a year ago. He wasn't, I don't think he was scheduled to speak. It was an end of the year type of day. And he sort of unpromptedly, kind of just did a pop-up presser.
Yeah, it might have literally been in a locker clean-out kind of setting. He was, I feel like I remember he was sitting in front of his locker.
I don't think so. I think he was standing
around him.
I think he was standing in the atrium, I want to say.
Maybe that's what it was.
It was, but I know it wasn't planned.
He wasn't at the podium.
He wasn't at the podium. Yes. So it wasn't planned. And that's when he revealed to the media that he had fractures in his back. And so I kind of had that in the back of my mind. I'm like, man, that email was fired off 90 minutes before the press conference. He might have just called it himself. Then he confirms that he called it himself in that opening statement. And what he wanted to, I think, address was the comments made from Sean Payton here at the end of the year press conference just yesterday.
What was found, though, what was a condition that was predisposed right at that, where they always find a little bit more when they go in, and it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. So it wasn't, because when you look at the play and you're trying to evaluate it, he said, the doctor, operating surgeon said that this was going to happen sooner than later. Now you go about the rehab, proper orthotics, all those things, but he's been one of those players that I would say has been available.
So in that conversation yesterday, Sean revealed to us that Bo Nix, was predisposed to this. And we were going to talk about the pattern of ankle injuries anyway because of those comments in a way that we didn't yesterday when Phil was here. We were dealing with a bunch of stuff yesterday, and so we're just trying to balance it all. But I wanted to talk with you about it, and I still want to circle back with you and talk about the actual pattern of injury because I think it's really important, and we'll do that here in this segment. But so we had those comments from Sean. Bo calls his own press conference and eventually says this.
Nothing predisposed, nothing that was there originally. I might have gotten confused, but it's just a simple step with my foot up in the air. My body weight came down on it and sort of got twisted up and got out of there pretty quick. I think that's the good part of being athletic. Sometimes your body gets out of worse situations. So could have been a worse landing, but I think all that force went into the only place it could, and was just one of those missteps. And didn't have any predisposed issues. Man, my ankles were feeling really good. I don't think he really should share how many surgeries I've had in the past, to be honest with you, but because I don't, he doesn't really even know that. But
and at that point, like, Drew's cutting up the audio and watching this thing in the other room, and he comes in here and he goes, "Hey, just a heads up, Bo's pissed." I'm like, "What do you mean Bo's pissed?" He's like, "You should have heard him talk about the Sean Payton revealing his injury and the number of surgeries."
Yeah, that piqued my attention right away.
So you have two different things, though. You have two different things. So Bo got hurt in the divisional round. We hadn't heard from Bo since then. Mm-hmm. He has the surgery and all this stuff. So there's two chapters of the Sean Payton in Bo's mind saying too much. The one chapter is after the divisional round game revealing that Bo Nix fractured his ankle for a third time. Not only did we not know that, Sean Payton didn't know that because he made a joke and said, if I had known you'd fractured it two times before, I wouldn't have drafted you.
Ha, ha, ha.
Right. Mm-hmm. And so he revealed that portion of it, which does not sound like Bo Nix is happy about at all, and went on to say, hey, he shouldn't be saying that. And by the way, he doesn't even know that.
For the record, yeah.
Which is like, whoa. But then him circling back twice and saying there's no predisposed. That's not true. And
it was a simple thing. I stepped on it. My weight transferred it,
So you have a coach and quarterback who are simply not on the same page. And I wonder if the tone that I saw from Greg Penner today, that I came in without knowledge of any of this stuff, was like, dude, that dude was serious. He was, and I wonder if he knows that his coach and quarterback are not on the same page. People just lost their job. And the vibe of this 14-3 football team that just lost in the AFC Championship game, it's not all a wonderland right now. It's not all peaches and cream.
Zach, with Greg Penner's business acumen that I think he has an abundantly clear and long resume to be able to support, and with how invested and present he is within the confines of Broncos Park, powered by Common Spirit, I would be genuinely stunned if he wasn't aware of this dynamic between Sean and Bo that kind of bubbled over a little bit today.
Yeah.
It would stun me because of just how he operates.
Yeah, and I find myself agreeing with you because Greg Penner, if there's one thing I know about Greg Penner, is he has completely saturated himself within the organization, and he is present every single day.
And just because he says things like, oh, I don't stick my nose in, I don't overrule, it doesn't mean he's not aware.
Yeah.
He can operate from, a distance or observe without being physically or directly involved. And I think that's the case here.
Yeah. So, look, they'll work through this.
Of course.
They will work through this. okay? This is not some sort of sky is falling or anything like that. But also, the vibes are a bit off. And the quarterback is not happy with the coach. That much is clear. And earlier someone said, hey, you guys are being dramatic. You guys are putting
bombastic.
You guys are putting on tinfoil hats. No. If you think this is a tinfoil hat conversation, you're either not paying close enough attention or you're not very smart. Because the quarterback of the team just called his own press conference and called out his head coach. So that's what happened. We're reacting to that story. And to think it's not a story is also naive. Mike Kliss put it out there on Twitter. If Sean Payton, help me, I say, if Sean Payton is a source for your injury, you need a second source.
Yeah. Yeah, Bo Nix, in more eloquent terms, basically just gave Sean the Josh McDaniels. Do your job and quit making you-know-what up.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, because I'm glad you said that. Why would Sean Payton just make that up?
I don't think he would.
I don't think he did.
No, I don't think so.
He's quoting the surgeon.
Right. A medical professional.
Yeah. So, and Bo would have, look, and we all love Bo, and this is a natural conversation, okay, that we're having right now. Bo is more negatively impacted by a significant margin by this information being out there.
Pretty big bag sitting in front of Bo Nix dangling out there in the future.
Exactly. So Bo Nix isn't playing on a fifth-year option. He wants to ball out next year and be extension eligible. And when you put it out there as a head coach who, let's be honest, beats the media over the head for 6 straight months as how he's not going to talk about injuries, and then you fast forward and you're revealing the number of injuries and the fact that you're predisposed. He's given details from when they went in the ankle.
Went from, I dare you to ask me about it again, to, check this out, guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually, when you take a step back, it's kind of remarkable.
You're never going to believe this.
And so if you're Bo, you're probably like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Because I never played in the NFL, but I know that business. And that kind of injury history is held against a player during contract negotiations. And Bo's most recent, the third ankle surgery, just impacted the Broncos' Super Bowl chances. So to think that wouldn't come up and impact his earning moving forward, I think Bo Nix is trying to, again, we love Bo, but he has more to lose or gain in this instance of trying to play defense for the story that Sean put out there.
How much of that potential negative impact from a narrative standpoint with the injuries? Because that's absolutely valid, and the NFL is ruthless. These owners and these organizations, these front offices, will leave no stone unturned from a leverage standpoint to make you cheaper than what you should be, or at least you feel you should be. How much of that negative narrative potential for Bo Nix is offset at all by the fact that Bo can turn around and say, look what you looked like with me and look what you looked like without me. You've been one to say in the past, sometimes the best thing you can do to prove your worth is step away.
And I believe that, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that happened by force of circumstance to Bo.
Yeah.
And I think we all walked away. I think Bo walked away. And I think a lot of players in that locker room, whether they would say it in front of a microphone or a camera or not, walked away going, if Bo Nix, if number 10's out there for the Denver Broncos, we're on a plane to Santa Clara.
Yeah. And from a negotiating standpoint, if you're the Broncos and you are that traditionally NFL ruthless approach, you now have the evidence to say your injury history held us back from a Super Bowl appearance. And you'd like to think that it wouldn't get like that, but also to think that it couldn't would also be naive. And so, and here's the thing, I want to make this clear. I don't think, because we're going down this road of the financial impact potentially for Bo Nix, and I don't think Sean Payton was thinking like that at all. I don't think he's doing some negotiation in advance, some deep psychology chess at all.
No, he's Billy the Kid that shoots from the hip at every opportunity.
Sean Payton sometimes. Let me amend that. Sean Payton oftentimes simply says too much. And we've been having Sean Payton conversations like this for 3 years. Because you have to remember, before Sean Payton ever coached a game for the Denver Broncos, he had to come out and apologize for things that he said to, I forget even who it was. It
was Jarrett Bell.
It was Jarrett Bell. Jarrett Bell from USA Today.
Yes.
And he said, this organization let Russell Wilson do this stuff, and there's dirt on everyone's hands. He mentioned the team president.
He said Nathaniel Hackett, as the Denver Broncos head coach, may be the worst head coaching tenure in the history of the National Football League.
Yeah, but he also said,
which was also validated by rankings of like ESPN. Or
Yes. But also, he didn't stop there. He said the parents allowed this to happen. Who are the parents that year? That's Greg Penner. That's Damani Leach. He said president by, he didn't say Damani's name by
team president.
He said team president. Like he mentioned the title. So Sean had to come out and apologize, and we have this inside joke in our market of, I had a couple lattes, right? Which is almost code for you were popping off like you sounded drunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're not saying he was. It was first thing in the morning.
And by the way, as a NFL head coach with a 2-decade-long tenure, essentially, in the NFL, his explanation or his reasoning behind the comments that he made was that he wasn't 100% sure he was on the record.
Yes.
Remember that with Jarrett Bell? He was like, I thought we were having a candid conversation. But it's like, I don't know. You've been around. You've been long enough in the tooth that you probably should have known.
Yeah, and the guy is a media member in your office. So, like,
a national media member who's only there to talk to you.
Right.
You're not at Starbucks.
So look, let's not get it twisted. Sean Payton is an elite coach. The Broncos are in the situation where they're competing for almost said state championship, an AFC
of sorts,
an AFC title, and a trip to the Super Bowl. I think Sean Payton is arguably the most central figure to why the Broncos are in this position. So I don't want to get carried away, but also it's Sean who gets carried away. It's Sean with his mouth, and this has been a constant. Bo didn't like in the preseason how Sean went out and popped off to Charles Robinson of Yahoo saying, you watch this quarterback's going to be top 4, top 5 quarterback in the next 2 years. Gave a timestamp on it. Bo didn't like that. But Bo
on the heels of him saying this is the 7th team I've ever coached that I think can win a Super Bowl. By the way,
double
whammy
in the same interview.
Yeah.
So Sean Payton, and I've said this numerous times through the years, he's a great coach. Might be the perfect coach for the Denver Broncos. All right, and I believe they're going to get through this, and I believe this operation is going to win a Super Bowl. I'll continue to say that. The 4 legs of the chair to hold up the weight of the Lombardi trophy. Greg Penner, George Payton, Sean Payton, Bo Nix. But Sean, man, that dude gets in his own way.
Yep, and I've always looked at it, Zach, with this, evaluation of Sean Payton as, for lack of a better analogy, the baby in the bathwater, right? You can't have one without the other. If you want Sean Payton, the offensive mind, the Super Bowl champion head coach who has a laundry list of accolades and experiences on his resume that you have been lacking here in Denver, if you want all of that to be the culture starter and the foundational element to help rebuild your organization, you're going to have to live with the fact that maybe he sometimes gets a little froggy up at the microphone.
Yeah.
Maybe he says some things he shouldn't, puts his foot in his mouth. Maybe he causes a little bit of a tiff between the starting quarterback and him, which he handpicked and is very vocal at every step of the process so far, talking about how much he not only loves but expects from him in a pretty short amount of time. You got to have both. And I am very okay with that transactional situation, given what we've seen here over the last decade or so since Peyton and Kubiak walked out the door.
So I am too. I am too. There's no doubt. All right, Sean's not perfect. But I totally understand why Bo Nix is pissed off today.
100%. And I love the fact that he feels the gravitas and the ownership of his role within the team and his standing within the organization to say, I want to correct this.
Yeah, I want to clear the record on this
and
right now.
You're going to give me a platform to do so.
Yeah.
It's almost like, in a weird way, Bo's way of, if not reminding, then just flat out saying, like, Sean, you and I look eye to eye.
Yeah.
I don't look up to you anymore.
No.
You and I look eye to eye here.
Yeah, and because I just watched you in this operation and what it looks like without me. And Bo Nix, and I know you mentioned this, like, his value has never been higher because we did see what it looked like without him. And so it's one of these things where this is a little bit tricky here today. And again, they'll get through it. But I understand why he's pissed. And I understand why he called his own press conference with 90 minutes heads up. That's why it was on Zoom. He wanted to do this today.
And you know what? If Sean Payton's going to keep the same energy that he kept when he and Bo kind of popped off on the sideline at each other during the Raiders game, and Sean Payton gushed about it after the game, and we all had that common thought based on his comments of like, that's the guy Sean wants. He wants the guy that's got a little bit of backbone, a little bit of fire and brimstone in him that's going to push back on it. If Sean's going to keep that same energy, he shouldn't be pissed. In fact, he should probably be thrilled or a little bit humbled at the fact that maybe he stepped on it a little bit here.
He didn't step on it, he stepped in it.
Yeah. And his quarterback pushed back with an appropriate measure of like, don't like that.
Yeah. Fascinating. I mean, it's dramatic. It's like it's like
it's not how I thought today was going to
go. No, not at all. Not at all. And I just marvel at a guy who says, I'm not talking about injuries, and like almost in a threatening tone to people. And this guy came an inch away from posting a picture of Bo's exposed ankle on the operating table on his Twitter account.
He's like, you guys ever seen an X-ray? Check this out.
I mean, that is unbelievable. You can't make it up. You can't make it up.
I love it.
But I don't know if I love it. I know Bo didn't love it. I'll say this, though.
You know what I love about it? That the stakes are real enough for these kinds of things to be happening.
I like that.
I love that the Denver Broncos, with the season they just had in 2025, have put themselves in a position where we don't hope or wish or think. In my opinion, we know this team can pass that confetti test, and they can do it next year. They could have done it this year, in my opinion, and they should be able to do it 2 or 3 years from now. And that, to me, just amplifies the stakes and the magnitude of it, and that's why we have conversations like we're having today. That's what I love.
Well, I appreciate that answer. Richie Carney filling in for Phillip Lindsay. Now I want to have the actual substance of the conversation about Bo's ankle. And just how concerned are we if it was, in fact, what we've been told, 3 ankle surgeries? And how concerned should we be moving forward? That's next.
A 2025 season came to a frustrating end. But the Broncos look like they're just getting started.
Just 2 years ago, you had people around the NFL saying the Broncos would be lucky to be able to field a team. And what did they do in those 2 years? They won 24 games, finished first, hosted the AFC Championship game, and lost a 3-point game with a backup quarterback.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. I've got to tell you about one of the most unique places in the world. Seriously. I'm talking about the Basketball Social House Bar and Grill in Centennial. This place has award-winning food and drinks. Guys, try the brunch, all right? I put my reputation on it. It's phenomenal. But what really sets it apart is that we're talking about the first of its kind sports bar and entertainment experience. Literally the only one in the entire world, and it's right here in Centennial, Colorado. Don't get it twisted. This place isn't just for hoopers. Even if you never touch a basketball, it's an awesome spot to eat, drink, hang out, catch the game. But if you do want to play, you can book your own private basketball suite. I'm talking a court, a lounge seating area, music, TVs, and more. It's perfect for parties, birthdays, or just an upgraded night out. It's also one of the best places in Colorado to watch big games with what might be the best happy hour in the state every single day from 7 p.m. to close. You can find them at 7450 South University Boulevard in Centennial, or check them out online at thebasketballsocialhouse.com. And because you heard it from me, get half off your first private basketball suite rental when you use the code HALFOFFHOOPS. Trust me, this place is a slam dunk.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Febreze.
New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor.
Breathe happy, Febreze. La 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 la.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. That's RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. We have 5 offices across the Front Range to serve you.
HelloFresh makes home cooking nutritious, delicious, and exciting. You excited when you get those freezer-burnt, pre-packaged meals in the mail? I know I'm not. Go to HelloFresh.com to explore plans and menus because nothing hits like home cooking.
Hey guys, your boy Mark Schlereth here for my friends at Xfinity. Now, when Team USA is on, you can almost see the moment when the kid starts believing, hey, I could be next. Now, while Xfinity can't guarantee that, they can guarantee something super important. That's your internet price won't change for 5 years. No contracts, no commitments. So, while your kid's ordering online or streaming highlight reels, your Xfinity internet price won't change. It will not budge. And who knows, by the time the next Winter Olympics roll around, your kid could be getting fitted for their very own Team USA uniform. And guess what? You'll be paying the same price for reliable Wi-Fi. And there's even more to enjoy with Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 10 years. That's a $10.99 value each month. Xfinity, imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-paid with stored bank account. Taxes, fees, extras. Actual speeds may vary.
New deals, new wheels. AutoNation's New Year, New Wheels event is going on now. Drive any new or used vehicle 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days. Save thousands on Toyotas, Fords, Hondas, Chevys, Mercedes-Benz, and more. 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days. Hurry to your nearest AutoNation store today or AutoNation.com. On select models with approved credit. Interest accrues from date of purchase on deferred payments. See store for details.
Still haven't filed your taxes? Hey, you're not the only one. A lot of good people fall behind. But here's the thing. The longer you wait, the harder the IRS can hit back. Penalties stack up. Interest piles on. The letters get more aggressive. None of it magically disappears. It's why I always tell folks, call my friends at Advanced Tax Solutions. These are not generalists. They don't dabble in tax problems. They live in this world. Resolving IRS issues is all they do. Maybe you're 1 year behind. Maybe you're 10. Maybe you've got unfiled returns, wage garnishments, bank levies, or you're just losing sleep wondering what the IRS is going to do next. Their licensed tax professionals can step in fast, talk to the IRS for you, stop the stress, and start putting a real plan in place. And listen, waiting never makes it better. Every day you delay is another day the IRS gets to tighten the screws. One quick call to Advanced Tax Solutions, that could be the start of a quick resolution. So take control of your tax situation before the IRS does. Reach out to Advanced Tax Solutions today and breathe again.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan's brought to you by Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Denver Sports Snapshot.
Tonight on ESPN Denver 1600, CSU basketball faces San Diego State with pregame starting at 8.
104.3 The Fan. We are Denver Sports.
It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, I want to shift gears just a little bit here from the kind of a wacky day. I mean, with the Bo and the Sean and the not war of words, but it's a spat that's kind of playing out in public. Okay, right. And we know that the Broncos themselves are maybe going out on the offensive a little bit and trying to control this sort of bit of damage.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So some tweets are coming down, and you know, and they're just doing their job over there from a PR standpoint. But that's one of the great things about working here at Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan is that, you know, we're not affiliated or beholden. You know, we could just
independent
keep it real, and so thankful for that on a day like today where we can just be like just authentically having the conversation about what unfolded that we didn't see coming. But I want to circle back to the actual function at its core that this little war of words is carrying out about. And that is that Bo Nix, unless he tells us that it's not true, which is impossible to take back because Bo is the one who told Sean Payton he had had fractured his ankle 2 previous times. Now, I'm sure Bo wasn't anticipating Sean would turn around and immediately tell the media that. Right?
Megaphone it.
So there's that. But also, let's just accept the fact that this is the 3rd time that this has happened. All right? And I think that there has been a lot of, at least the tone that I have heard, and I can't ingest everything, so I don't listen to everyone, okay? But the tone that I have heard with Bo Nix's injury history, specifically his ankles, is kind of, there's nothing to see here.
Laissez-faire, a little bit.
And I'm like, why? Seriously, why? If Jamal Murray, over a 6-year period, fractured his ankle 3 different times, when he did it for a 3rd time, it would be a very big deal.
And you say 6-year period for the record because with Bo Nix in particular, it's happened at the high school level,
yes,
the collegiate level,
yes,
and the pro level, which is roughly a 6 or so year span of time.
If you want to say 7 years, like Jamal Murray's been here for almost a decade, right? So if Jamal Murray fractured his ankle 3 different times over a 7-year period, call it 8, I don't care. When he did it for a 3rd time and it prevented the Nuggets from going to the NBA championship,
right?
It would be a massive.
If it derailed that title run in 22-23.
It would be a massive deal, okay? What makes this different is Bo Nix wasn't here for the first 2 fractures. But the 3rd one did, in fact, prevent the Broncos from going to the Super Bowl. So why should we be so, shrug, meh? Like, well, I don't understand. Now, I'm not saying, like, you got to sell your stock on Bo. None of that. Someone said they should draft another quarterback. No. But at the same time, I think we should authentically have the conversation from a concern point level because the Broncos did just miss out on a trip to Super Bowl 60 because of this injury. And it is the 3rd time. And when Sean Payton came out and said the surgeon told us that he was predisposed, it was going to happen sooner than later. Richie, that did not make me feel better about this. And so I think that in general, and everyone's different, every host is different, every podcaster, every tweeter host is different, but in general, with a broad stroke, the tone of conversation surrounding this injury and what just didn't go down in the AFC Championship game because of the injury is not meeting the moment of what actually just happened and has happened 2 times previous before this instance.
It feels like there's a multitude of different factors that could be contributing to this. One, we've been so starved for quality quarterback play, for excitement and enthusiasm around the Denver Broncos since they won the Super Bowl 10 years ago. And we got a nibble of that in Bo's rookie season, especially on the tail end there, even though it ended in the wild card pretty dramatically. But boy, did the fire hose get turned all the way on this season with all of the, not just going 14-3, but going 14-3 in the way that they did coming back against the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles, scoring 33 points against the Giants, 2 of their 3 losses on the season coming in the first 3 weeks of the year in walk-off fashion, being the number 1 seed, having the runway lights on to return to Santa Clara 10 years later, all that romanticized narrative of it. And then there was also Sean Payton's comments as soon as Bo Nix's injury went down that said, we're going to be fine. Steady's going to rip it. That's just who he is. You watch, right? Not just we're going to prepare as we normally do. It's no, you watch.
Yeah.
Open your eyes and check this out.
Yep.
And then there's the kind of afterglow of the season that you've kind of talked about where it's like, yes, it ended in disappointing fashion, and we all feel like if Bo Nix was out there, it would have gone very differently. But it's hard to just solely be sour about it. And it feels like a lot of these things, from Sean Payton's comments to the season, et cetera, have just kind of softened the whole conversation a little bit because everyone's just so excited about the fact that we're having conversations of this magnitude in the first place, right?
Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot to that. I do. I think there's a lot to that. The concernometer brought it with me to work today. Knew we were going to have this conversation. Had no idea that the conversation would take on a different life after Bo called his own presser and said what he said, addressing Sean Payton. But, man, if the concernometer is in front of me and it's 1 out of 10, when it comes to Bo's ankle, it just happened for a 3rd time, and he can't control it. You know, Bo doesn't want to be hurt, right? This just sucks. But the concernometer would probably be at a 6 for me right now.
I think that's totally fair. I think that's appropriate. And I think that there could be an argument if you wanted it to be. 6 would be not my number as well. But if I wanted to say, hey, Zach, I think it's actually maybe a 7 or a 7.5 for me, what I would draw from to make that argument is Bo Nix is the Broncos offense.
Yep.
He had a game against the Buffalo Bills, and he had multiple games like that during the regular season, where he was responsible for 70 to 80+% of the offensive production on the ground and through the air.
Yeah, you're winning because of him, not with him.
Correct. He led the team in carries against the Buffalo Bills in a game that they had to go to overtime to win, despite forcing as many turnovers as they did. And what's the hallmark of Bo Nix's upside and potential as a quarterback?
That's right.
His athleticism.
That's right.
His legs are the engine that drives him as a young ascending quarterback. And the legs are connected to the ground by the ankle. And if that becomes his proverbial Achilles heel and limits him the way that we've seen other mobile quarterbacks, different, maybe apples to oranges comparison, but you look at Lamar Jackson, who's one of the best runners in the NFL. NFL history. And the way that the injuries that he started to sustain in a more frequent fashion this year, the way that it turned their offense, which also features Derrick Henry, by the way, into this listless, lifeless unit.
If you take his legs away from him, it's not that he can't play the position. That would be misrepresenting Bo Nix's abilities. But, man, he goes from a multi-pronged threat to a singular threat. And, man, what the issues that he presents with his legs, I mean, I've said all year, maybe for 2 years now. I forget when I started saying it, but Bo Nix is closer to one of the 10 best athletes playing quarterback right now in the NFL than he is to the bottom 10. I mean, he is right now he is faster than Josh Allen. If he and Josh Allen raced each other, Bo Nix would win pre this injury. If you see a reduction in whether it's the willingness to be a runner or the physical reduction or incapability, he's just a different player without it. And so if you don't think this is a deal, now it doesn't have to be the biggest deal in the world, but it's a deal. Broncos would be prepping for a Super Bowl right now if Bo Nix was available. And so, man, it's a big boy conversation, that's for sure. All right, what did we learn today in Denver sports? If you missed the comments made by Bo Nix directed at Sean Payton, we'll play them for you next.
The Broncos have fired offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi.
We take the next step today.
With a rising star like Davis Webb waiting in the wings, is Sean Payton clearing the path to keep his talented QB coach in Denver? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. And guys, it's a brand new year, and I know there's at least 50 of you listening to me right now who are thinking about popping that question soon. And you know if that's the case, you need a diamond. So let me save you some time and money by telling you something as simple as this. You need to go see my jeweler, Williams Jewelers. So whether you're starting your next chapter with your perfect diamond engagement ring, or celebrating a milestone, or finally just doing something special for yourself for once, this is where it all begins at Williams Jewelers. This new year, imagine the finest jewelry legends all in one store together, making you feel just like family, and their service is going to reflect that. So come shop the finest loose diamonds in Denver. They have every size, shape, and price range you can imagine, and the largest selection of engagement ring settings I've ever set eyes on. And not only are they going to share the secret to the business with you, but they're going to give you the best price in Colorado, guaranteed. So why wouldn't you want to create moments and memories for yourself and the ones you love by going to Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche, Denver's first family of fine jewelers, located in Cherry Creek North on 3rd Avenue, and also in Inglewood at Broadway and Bellevue. And don't forget to mention my name, Phillip Lindsay, when you step through one of those doors.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Is your money doing everything it can for you? Like automatically pushing more of your money to savings every day?
I don't think so.
Then switch to Huntington Bank. And let's get more from money. Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
How about a simple New Year's resolution, one that even I could achieve? Reverse the clock on hair loss with Advanced Hair's simple one-day FUE treatment. You will feel more confident and more youthful when you witness your own natural hair growing into those places that have been balding or thinning for years. From Advanced Hair's breakthrough technology to their highly experienced team, there is no one I trust more in hair restoration. Their simple FUE treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day, and your new hair is backed by the Advanced Hair Guarantee. I know from personal experience, Advanced Hair's exceptional standard of care makes your comfort and your results their top priority. Celebrate this new year with a fuller head of hair and get a free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR. Discover what meeting your resolution could look like with the before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
How do you stay humble when you're America's #1 wiper blade? That's what we're currently dealing with at Rain-X. Is it even possible to humble brag when you bully Mother Nature like we do? Do we sound too conceited if we keep repeating how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America? No, we'll take a lesson from our wipers and just keep doing our job with humility. As America's #1 wiper blade. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it, with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach By here. For 50-80 Exteriors, Colorado homes face more risk than ever from intense weather, including wildfire exposure. 50-80 Exteriors prioritizes fire-resistant, non-combustible, low-maintenance exterior upgrades with reliable quality installations. Protect your home with James Hardy siding, TimberTech decking, and Pella Impervia fiberglass windows, all designed to stand up to heat, weather, and time. They also offer 60 months no-interest financing, 50 to 80 exteriors, the altitude of quality.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Stay up to date on the Broncos and the latest news from around the league with our NFL insider James Palmer, exclusively on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Mondays on The Rundown with Richie Carney, Tuesday afternoons on The Drive, and Friday mornings on Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, all season long. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan, DenverSports.com, and the Denver Sports app. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, final segment here on a Wednesday. Fascinating show that we didn't see coming. We'll recap it really quick here for you. So, Sean Payton at yesterday's press conference. Well, chapter one of the story is Sean Payton revealing after the divisional round win over Buffalo that Bo Nix had fractured his ankle 2 different times before this time. Chapter number 2 came at yesterday's season press conference when he said this about Bo's ankle.
What was found, though, what was a condition that was like predisposed right at that they always find a little bit more when they go in, and it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when. So it wasn't, because when you look at the play and you're trying to evaluate it, he said, the doctor, operating surgeon said that this was going to happen sooner than later.
All right, so he's saying Bo's predisposed to this. This was going to happen.
Sooner or later.
Sooner than later, okay? And then you have the next day, Bo was not scheduled to give a press conference. He called his own press conference with 98 minutes notice to the Broncos media. And I on the air with Richie, speculated that Bo Nix could have called his own press conference because of the just the dynamics and how it's not customary to give 90 minutes heads up that starting quarterback's going to speak. And then I was validated when we actually pulled the audio from his opening statement.
Hey, first off, thank you guys for joining today. Wanted to get in front of y'all on Monday. Just had a lot going on, wasn't able to do that in person at the end of the year, but since it didn't work out, wanted to open it up here. Answer.
So basically, that was confirmation on my speculation before we knew that was the case. And then a couple minutes after that, Bo Nix is asked about the injury, how it happened, and how many surgeries he has had on that ankle, and dropped this little bomb.
Nothing predisposed, nothing that was there originally. I might have gotten confused, but it's just a simple step with my foot up in the air. My body weight came down on it and sort of got twisted up and got out of there pretty quick. I think that's the good part of being athletic. Sometimes your body gets out of worse situations. So could have been a worse landing, but I think all that force went into the only place it could, and was just one of those missteps. And didn't have any predisposed issues. Man, my ankles were feeling really good. I don't think he really should share how many surgeries I've had in the past, to be honest with you, but because I don't, he doesn't really even know that.
All right. So at that point, it was like, whoa. So to discuss this, and is also your host for Denver Sports tonight, it's the scrappy one, the scrapster, Scrap Peterson. What up, Will?
What up, boys?
Man, we've been talking about it for most of the afternoon. We didn't see this coming. What do you make when you add up the layers and dynamics of what unfolded publicly today?
Yeah, I think a little bit of trouble in paradise, right? You got the head coach and the quarterback publicly feuding. And obviously they're going to get through this, and they're going to be really good for years to come. But Bo went out of his way today to say, I didn't like what Sean told y'all on Tuesday. And again, no one's getting fired, no one's getting traded, no one's moving on. But it just goes to show you that I think Bo now has the personality of, hey, I'm going into year 3 in this league. If you're my head coach and you say something I don't like, I'm going to stand up for myself.
Bingo.
And I think that was that was good from Bo Nix, but I also think that the Broncos can't be loving this. I don't think they're loving the fact that, because what did we say a couple days ago? Oh, they're not the Bills. They're not going to make a lot of headlines. They didn't have these disaster end-of-the-year press conferences. Well, all of a sudden, here on Wednesday afternoon, the Broncos have made some headlines.
And what's crazy is, all this afternoon was unforeseen, but I came into today's show during the crosstalk with Richie, Cecil, and Dover, and the big story was Greg Penner giving a rare interview.
Correct.
And I said, guys, one of my biggest takeaways was the utter seriousness on the face of Greg Penner. There was no lightness. There was no smile. And I wasn't sure if it was just a reflection of the AFC title game loss, people losing their job. I'm the owner. This is not a light moment. But it might have been that he's saturated in that facility and knows that his quarterback is pissed off with his head football coach.
I would be stunned if he wasn't acutely aware of what was going on behind the scenes that bubbled over a little bit.
By the way, in the last 5 minutes, the NFL has added 2 members to the competition committee.
I saw this.
Sean Payton and Mike Vrabel.
Is that right?
So Sean Payton's now officially on the NFL's competition committee.
Wow. Well, didn't see this coming today. They'll get through it, but certainly not ideal, to put it lightly here. So we'll be back at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Maybe there'll be another layer waiting for us, maybe an update on Davis Webb and that whole thing. But that'll do it for us this evening. Appreciate you guys being here. We step aside. It's Denver Sports Tonight. Next.
Which pending free agent do the Denver Broncos have to bring back next season?
I will say this. If I did the ranking, right, of these 4 notable free agents, I'm going to put JFM first. If they don't want to prioritize him, I'm going to. You win football games from the big uglies up front.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What's going on, gentlemen? The new year is here, and improving your health is probably high on that resolutions list. But when you're tired all the time, low on energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing the results like you used to in the gym, staying motivated can feel impossible. And here's the truth. Those are not just signs of you getting older. They're often signs that you're dealing with low testosterone. But I'm here to tell you that at Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, they're experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. They've helped tens of thousands of men across Colorado feel better fast. And in just a few weeks, many men notice more energy, better workouts, improved sleep, and a stronger sex drive, and we all deserve to have that. All you need to do is get started by simply going to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com, take their quick 2-minute low T quiz, and schedule a consult. Your blood work is done on site, the results will be given back to you in 30 minutes, and your visit is only $99. And if you start the treatment the day of your appointment, the visit is free. You heard me, it's free. They also have 5 locations out there to serve you, so there are no excuses, gentlemen. Go get treated. Give them a call today at 720-440-7900 or visit RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. That's RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
The Ultimate RV Show is returning to the Colorado Convention Center in Denver, Colorado. Admission is free. Join us January 28th through the 31st to shop special show pricing on over 300 fully staged new and used RVs. Get a first look at brand new models. Browse a huge selection of pre-owned RVs. Check out the latest RV gear and accessories and enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Ultimate RV Show at the Colorado Convention Center, January 28th through the 31st. Get your free ticket today at ultimatervshow.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer